Chapters 146 through 150 of the Egyptian Book of the Dead by E. A. Wallis Budge. Chapter 146. Vignettes: 14 shrines, in each of which a god is seated. Text: here begin the chapters of entering in at the hidden pylons of the house of Osiris in Sekhet Aanru the first. The Osiris Nu, the overseer of the palace, the chancellor-in-chief, triumphant, when he cometh to the first pylon of Osiris, saith, I have made my way, I know you, and I know your name, and I know the name of the god who guardeth you. Lady of tremblings, with lofty walls, the sovereign lady, the mistress of destruction, who setteth in order the words which drive back the whirlwind and the storm, who delivereth from destruction him that travelleth along the way, is thy name. The name of thy doorkeeper is Neri. The Osiris Nu, when he cometh to the second pylon of Osiris, saith, I have made my way, I know you, and I know your name, and I know the name of the god who guardeth you. Lady of heaven, the mistress of the world, who devoureth with fire, the lady of mortals, who knoweth mankind, is thy name. The name of thy doorkeeper is Mespeh, or Mespetah. The Osiris Nu, when he cometh to the third pylon of Osiris, saith, I have made my way, I know you, and I know your name, and I know the name of the god who guardeth you. Lady of the altar, the lady to whom abundant offerings are made, in whom every god rejoiceth on the day of sailing up to Abtu, Abydos, is thy name. The name of thy doorkeeper is Urtat Sebanka. The Osiris Nu, when he cometh to the fourth pylon of Osiris, saith, I have made my way, I know you, and I know your name, and I know the name of the god who guardeth you. She who prevaileth with knives, the mistress of the world, destroyer of the foes of the still heart, who maketh the decree for the escape of the needy from evil hap, is thy name. The name of thy doorkeeper is Nekau. The Osiris Nu, when he cometh to the fifth pylon of Osiris, saith, I have made my way, I know you, and I know your name, and I know the name of the god who guardeth you. Fire, the lady of flames, who inhaleth the supplications which are made to her, who permitteth not thee to enter in, is thy name. The name of thy doorkeeper is Henti Reku. The Osiris Nu, when he cometh to the sixth pylon of Osiris, saith, I have made my way, I know you, and I know your name, and I know the name of the god who guardeth you. Lady of light, the lady to whom abundant supplication is made, the difference between her height and her breadth is unknown. The like of her hath never been found since the beginning. There is a serpent thereupon, whose size is not known. It was born in the presence of the still heart, is thy name. The name of the doorkeeper is Semamti. The Osiris Nu, when he cometh to the seventh pylon of Osiris, saith, I have made my way, I know you, and I know your name, and I know the name of the god who guardeth you. Robe, which doth clothe the divine feeble one, weeping for what it loveth, and shrouding the body, is thy name. The name of the doorkeeper is Akenti. The Osiris Nu, when he cometh to the eighth pylon of Osiris, saith, I have made my way, I know you, and I know your name, and I know the name of the god who guardeth you. Blazing fire, the flame whereof cannot be quenched, provided with tongues of flame which reach afar, the slaughtering one, the irresistible one, through whom a man may not pass by reason of the hurt which she doeth, is thy name. The name of the doorkeeper is Khu Chet-F. The Osiris Nu, when he cometh to the ninth pylon of Osiris, saith, I have made my way, I know you, and I know your name, and I know the name of the god who guardeth you. She who is in the front, the lady of strength, quiet of heart, who giveth birth to her lord, whose girth is 350 measures, who sendeth forth rays like the Uach stone of the south, who raiseth up the divine form and clotheth the feeble one, who giveth offerings to her Lord every day, is thy name. The name of the doorkeeper is Tchesef. The Osiris Nu, when he cometh to the 10th pylon of Osiris, saith, I have made my way, I know you, and I know your name, and I know the name of the God who guardeth you. Thou who art loud of voice, who raisest up those who cry, and who make supplication unto her, whose voice is loud, the terrible one, the lady who is to be feared, who destroyeth not that which is in her, is thy name. The name of the doorkeeper is Sekhen Ur. The Osiris Nu, when he cometh to the 11th pylon of Osiris, saith, I have made my way, I know you, and I know your name, and I know the name of her who is within thee. She who slaughtereth always, the burner up of fiends, mistress of the every pylon, the lady to whom acclamation is made on the day of darkness, is thy name. She hath the judgment of the feeble bandaged one. The Osiris Nu, when he cometh to the 12th pylon of Osiris, saith, I have made my way, I know you, and I know your name, and I know the name of her who is within thee. Thou who invokest thy two lands, who destroyest those who come with flashings and with fire, the lady of splendor, who hearkeneth unto the speech of her Lord, is thy name. She hath the judgment of the feeble bandaged one. The Osiris Nu, when he cometh to the 13th pylon of Osiris, saith, I have made my way, I know you, and I know your name, and I know the name of her who is within thee. Osiris bringeth his two hands over her, and maketh the god Hapi, that is, the Nile, to send forth splendor out of his hidden places, is thy name. She hath the judgment of the feeble bandaged one. The Osiris Nu, when he cometh to the 14th pylon of Osiris, saith, I have made my way, I know you, and I know your name, and I know the name of her who is within thee. Lady of might, who danceth on the blood red ones, who keepeth the festival of Haker on the day of the hearing of faults, is thy name. She hath the judgment of the feeble bandaged one. The 15th pylon, the Osiris Heru M. Kebit, triumphant, saith, when he cometh to this pylon, the fiend red of hair and eyes, who cometh forth by night, and doth fetter the fiend in his lair, may her hands be given to the still heart in his hour, and may she advance and go forward, is thy name. She hath the judgment of the feeble bandaged one. The 16th pylon, the Osiris Heru M. Kebit, triumphant, saith, when he cometh forth to this pylon, terrible one, the lady of the rainstorm, who planteth ruin in the souls of men, the devourer of the dead bodies of mankind, the orderer and producer and creator of slaughter, is thy name. She hath the judgment of the feeble bandaged one. The 17th pylon, the Osiris Heru M. Kebit, triumphant, saith, when he cometh forth to this pylon, hewer in pieces in blood, a hobbit, lady of hair, is thy name. She hath the judgment of the feeble bandaged one. The 18th pylon, the Osiris Heru M. Kebit, triumphant, saith, when he cometh to this pylon, lover of the fire, pure of slaughterings which she loveth, cutter off of heads, venerated one, lady of the great house, destroyer of fiends at eventide, is thy name. She hath the judgment of the feeble bandaged one. The 19th pylon, the Osiris Heru M. Kebit, triumphant, saith, when he cometh to this pylon, dispenser of light during her period of life, watcher of flames, the lady of the strength and of the writings of the god Ptah himself, is thy name. She hath the judgment of the bandages of Paran, or Per-hetch. The 20th pylon, the Osiris Heru M. Kebit, triumphant, saith, when he cometh to this pylon, she who dwelleth within the cavern of her Lord, clother is her name. She hideth what she hath created. She taketh possession of hearts. She swalloweth is thy name. She hath the judgment of the bandages of Paran, or Perhetch. The 21st pylon, the Osiris Heru em Kebet, triumphant, saith when he cometh to this pylon, Knife which cutteth when its name is uttered, and slayeth those who advance towards its flames, is thy name. She hath secret plots and counsels. Chapter 147. The first Arit. Vignette: Ani and his wife Thuthu approaching the first Arit, at the entrance of which sit three gods having the head of a hare, of a serpent, and of a crocodile, respectively. The name of the doorkeeper is Sekhet Hra Ashtaru. The name of the watcher is Semeti. The name of the herald is Hak Heru. The Osiris Ani, triumphant, shall say when he cometh unto the first Arit, I am the mighty one who createth his own light. I have come unto thee, O Osiris, and purified from that which defileth thee. I adore thee. Lead on, name not the name of Re stau unto me. Homage to thee, O Osiris, in thy might and in thy strength in Re stau. Rise up and conquer, O Osiris, in Abtu. Thou goest round about heaven, thou sailest in the presence of Ra, thou lookest upon all the beings who have knowledge. Hail, Ra, thou who circlest in the sky. Verily I say, O Osiris, I am the spiritual body (Sa) of the god, and I say, let me not be driven hence, nor upon the wall of burning coals. Open the way in Re stau, ease the pain of Osiris, embrace that which the balance hath weighed, make a path for him in the great valley, make light to be on the way of Osiris. The second Arit. Vignette: An Arit guarded by three gods, having the head of a lion, of a man, and of a dog, respectively. Text: the name of the doorkeeper is Un Hat. The name of the watcher is Sekhet Ra. The name of the herald is Uset. The Osiris Ani, triumphant, shall say when he cometh to this Arit, he sitteth to do his heart's desire, and he weigheth words as the second of Thoth. The strength which protecteth Thoth humbleth the hidden Maat gods, who feed upon Maat throughout the years of their lives. I make offerings at the moment when he maketh his way. I pass on and enter upon the way. Grant thou that I may pass onwards, and that I may gain sight of Ra together with those who make offerings. The third Arit. Vignette: An Arit guarded by three gods, having the head of a jackal, the head of a dog, and the head of a serpent, respectively. Text: the name of the doorkeepers is Hawatu Ent Pehui. The name of the watcher is Seris Ra. The name of the herald is Aa. The Osiris Ani, triumphant, shall say when he cometh to this Arit, I am the hidden one in the great deep. I am the judge of the Rehui. I have come, and I have done away with the offensive thing which was upon Osiris. I am fastening the place whereon he shall stand, which projecteth from the Ureret crown. I have perfected matters in Abtu. I have opened the way in Re stau. I have eased the pain which was in Osiris. I have made straight his standing place, and I have made his path. He shineth in Re stau. The fourth Arit. Vignette: An Arit guarded by three gods, having the head of a man, of a hawk, and of a lion, respectively. Text: the name of the doorkeeper is Kesef Hra Ashta Keru. The name of the watcher is Seres Tepu. The name of the herald is Kesef At. The Osiris Ani, triumphant, shall say when he cometh to this Arit, I am the bull, the son of the ancestors of Osiris. O grant ye that his father, the lord of his godlike companions, may bear witness for him. I have weighed the guilty in judgment. I have brought unto his nostrils the life which is everlasting. I am the son of Osiris. I have made the way. I have passed thereover into Neter Khert. The fifth Arit. Vignette: An Arit guarded by three gods, having the head of a hawk, of a man, and of a snake, respectively. Text: the name of the doorkeeper is Ankh F. Emphent. The name of the watcher is Shabu. The name of the herald is Teb Hra Ha Keft. The Osiris Ani, triumphant, shall say when he cometh to this Arit, I have brought unto thee the bones of thy jaws in Re stau. I have brought thee thy backbone in Anu Heliopolis, gathering together its manifold parts therein. I have driven back Apep for thee. I have spit upon the wounds which are in him. I have made a path among you. I am the Ancient One among the gods. I have made the offering of Osiris. I have avenged him in triumph, gathering his bones and bringing together all his limbs. The sixth Arit. Vignette: An Arit guarded by three gods, the first having the head of a jackal, then the second and third the head of a dog. Text: The name of the doorkeeper is Atek Tau Kehak Keru. The name of the watcher is An Hra. The name of the herald is Atis Hra Ari Shi. The Osiris Ani, triumphant, shall say when he cometh to this Arit: I have come daily, I have come daily, I have made my way, I have passed along that which was created by Anpu (Anubis). I am the lord of the Ureret crown, possessing words of magical power, the avenger of Maat. I have avenged his eye, I have delivered Osiris, and I have made the way. The Osiris Ani passeth along with you in triumph. The seventh Arit. Vignette: An Arit guarded by three gods, having the head of a hare, of a lion, and of a man respectively. Text: The name of the doorkeeper is Sekemet M. Tesu Sen. The name of the watcher is Ea Mea Keru. The name of the herald is Kesef Kemi. The Osiris Ani, triumphant, shall say when he cometh to this Arit: I have come unto thee, O Osiris, who art cleansed of thine impurities. Thou goest round about heaven, thou seest Ra, thou seest the beings who have knowledge. Hail, only One! Behold, thou art in the Sektet boat as it goeth round about the horizon of heaven. I speak what I will unto his spiritual body, Sa. It waxeth strong, and it cometh into being, even as he spake. Thou meetest his face. Prosper thou for me all the ways which lead unto thee. Chapter 148. Vignette: A hall or shrine, within which on the left Ani stands before two tables of offerings adoring Ra or Osiris, hawk-headed. Next are ranged seven kine and a bull, each animal having offerings before it. Behind are four rudders, emblematic of the cardinal points, and on the extreme right are four triads of gods. The speech of Ani reads: Homage to thee, O thou Lord, thou Lord of right and truth, the only One, the Lord of eternity and creator of everlastingness. I have come unto thee, O my Lord Ra. I have made offerings of herbs unto the seven kine and unto their bull. O ye who give cakes and ale unto the Khus, grant ye to my soul to be with you. May Osiris Ani be borne upon your thighs. May he be like unto one of you for ever and for ever, and may he become a Khu in the beautiful Amenti. Text: The Chapter of providing the deceased with food in the underworld. The Osiris Nu, the overseer of the palace, the chancellor in chief, triumphant, the son of the overseer of the palace, the chancellor in chief, Amenhetep, triumphant, saith: Homage to thee, O thou that shinest from thy disk, thou living soul, who comest forth from the horizon. The Osiris Nu knoweth thee, and he knoweth thy name, and he knoweth the name of thy seven kine, and of the bull that belongeth unto them. Hail, ye who give cakes and ale and splendor to the souls who are provided with food in the underworld. Grant ye cakes and ale unto the Osiris Nu, provide ye him with food, let him be in your following, and let him be borne upon your thighs. Here follow the names of the seven kine and of their bull, with the address to them by the deceased. 1. Het Kau Nebet Chur. 2. Akert Kentet Auset S. 3. Meh Kebetet Sa Neter. 4. Mertu S. Tesher Sheni. 5. Kenemetem Ankh Anuit. 6. Sek Kemet Ren S. M. Abet S. 7. Shenat Pet Tooth the Set Neter. 8. Kat Jai Kawit. Hail, ye cows and bull! Grant ye cakes and ale and offerings of food to the Osiris Nu, and supply ye him with food, and make him to be a perfect Khu in the underworld. Here follow the addresses to the four rudders by the deceased. 1. Hail, thou beautiful power, thou beautiful rudder of the northern heaven. 2. Hail, thou who revolvest, thou pilot of the two lands, thou beautiful rudder of the western heaven. 3. Hail, thou shining one, who dwellest in the temple wherein are the gods in visible forms, thou beautiful rudder of the eastern heaven. 4. Hail, thou who dwellest within the temple of the ruddy beings, thou beautiful rudder of the southern heaven. Grant ye cakes and ale and offerings of food and splendor to the Khu of the Osiris Nu. Grant ye unto him life and strength and health and abiding joy of heart upon earth. And grant ye unto him triumph in the horizon of Anu, and in heaven, and upon earth, and in the underworld. Here follow the address to the four triads. Hail, ye fathers of the gods! Hail, ye mothers of the gods! Ye who are above the earth and who dwell in the underworld! Deliver ye the Osiris Nu from every obstacle of evil, from every attack of evil, from the cruel snare, and from the slaughtering knives, and from every wicked and evil thing whatsoever, which ye could order to be done unto him by men, and by gods, and by the Khus, and by the dead on this day, or on this night, or in this month, or in this half-monthly festival, or in this year, or in any of the seasons thereof whatsoever. Rubric: these words shall be said when Ra appeareth over figures of the gods written or painted in colour upon a board. And thou shalt place offerings and tchefau food before them, cakes, ale, flesh, feathered fowl, and incense, and they shall cause the deceased to possess sepulchral meals with Ra, and shall give him an abundance of food in the underworld, and shall deliver him from every evil thing whatsoever. And thou shalt not recite this book of Un Nefer in the presence of any person except thine own self. And if this be done for the deceased, Ra shall be a rudder for him, and shall be a strength protecting him, and he shall make an end of all his enemies for him in the underworld, and in heaven, and upon earth, and in every place wherever he may enter, and he shall have abundance of food regularly and continually forever. Chapter 149. The 14 Aats, or divisions of Sekhet Anru. Vignette: the first Aat. The text: the first Aat, which is to be painted green. The Osiris Nu, the overseer of the palace, the chancellor in chief, triumphant, saith: Hail, thou Aat of Amentet, wherein a man liveth upon cakes and ale! Remove thy wigs when I come towards thee. And behold, the mighty God who dwelleth in thee hath bound up my bones, and he hath stablished my members. And the Ahi, the Lord of hearts, hath gathered together my bones, and hath stablished the Ureret crown of Tem upon my head. And Neheb Kau hath stablished for me my head. Full and stablished is the balance. Thou shalt have dominion among the gods, O Amsuket. Vignette: the second Aat, the horizon. Text: the second Aat, which is painted green. The god therein is Ra Heru Khuti. The Osiris Nu saith: I am the mighty one of possessions in Sekhet Aaru. Hail, thou Sekhet Aaru, the walls of which are of iron. The height of the wheat thereof is 5 cubits, the ears thereof being 2 cubits long, and the stalks 3 cubits. The barley thereof is 7 cubits in height, the ears being 3 cubits long, and the stalks 4 cubits. And behold, the Khus, each of whom therein is 9 cubits in height, reap the wheat and the barley side by side with Heru Khuti Harmachis. I know the door which is in the middle of Sekhet Aaru, wherefrom Ra cometh forth in the eastern part of heaven. The southern portion thereof is in the lake of the Karu fowl, and the northern portion thereof is in the canal of the Ray fowl, in the place wherein Ra saileth round about means of the winds which bear him along. I am he who watcheth the leathers in the divine boat. I am in the boat, and I am he who doth navigate it without ceasing. I know the 2 sycamore trees of turquoise, from between which the god Ra doth emerge when he setteth out upon his journey over the pillars of Shu towards the door of the Lord of the East, wherefrom Ra cometh forth. I know the Sekhet Aaru of Ra. The wheat therein is 5 cubits in height, the ears being 2 cubits long, and the stalks 3 cubits. The barley thereof is 7 cubits in height, the ears being 3 cubits long, and the stalks 4 cubits. And behold, the Khus therein, who are 9 cubits in height, reap the wheat and the barley side by side with the divine souls of the East. Vignette: the third Aat, which is called the Aat of the Khus. Text: the third Aat, which is to be painted green. The Osiris Nu, triumphant, saith: Hail, thou Aat of the Khus, whereover none can sail, and wherein are the Khus. The fire thereof is blazing with flame. Hail, thou Aat of Khus, your faces are in the land. Make clear your ways, and purify ye your Aats. And what hath been decreed by Osiris, do ye for me for ever. I am the mighty one of the Teshert crown, which is on the brow of the god of light, and which maintaineth in life the two lands and the men and women thereof by means of the flame of its mouth. The god Ra hath been delivered from the fiend Apep. Vignette: the fourth Aat, wherein is inscribed the double mountain, doubly high and doubly great. Text: the fourth Aat, which is to be painted green. The Osiris Nu, triumphant, saith: Hail, thou who art chief of the hidden Aat. Hail, thou one who art lofty and great, who dwellest in the underworld, over whom the heaven spreadeth itself. Thou art 300 measures in length, and 230 measures in width, and thou hast over thee a serpent, the name of which is Sati Temui. He is 70 cubits in length, and he liveth by slaughtering the Khus and the dead who are in the underworld. I stand up in thy enclosure, O Maa. I sail round about, and I see the way which leadeth unto thee. I gather myself together to thee. I am the man, and clothe thy head. I am strong, and I have become strong. I am the god who is mighty in enchantments. My two eyes have been given to me, and I am glorious therewith. Who art thou, O Khu, that goest upon thy belly, and whose twofold strength is upon thy mountain? Grant thou unto me that I may go unto thee, and that thy twofold strength may be with me. I lift up myself by thy twofold strength. I have come, and I have vanquished the Akriu, serpent of Ra. His peace is to me at eventide. I revolve in the heavens, and thou art in the mountain valley. A decree hath been made concerning thee upon earth. Vignette: the fifth Aat. Text: the fifth Aat, which is to be painted green. The Osiris Nu, triumphant, saith: Hail, thou Aat of the Khus, whereover none may pass. The Khus who are therein have thighs 7 cubits long, and they live upon the shades of the weak and helpless. Hail, thou Aat of the Khus, open ye unto me your ways, so that I may pass by you, and may go on to the beautiful Amentet, according to that which Osiris the Khu, the lord of Khus, hath decreed. I live by reason of my splendor. I perform every festival of the month, and I observe rightly the festival of the half months. I revolve, and the eye of Horus is under my hand in the following of Thoth. The mouth of every god and of every dead person devoureth mine enemy this day, and he falleth down at the block of slaughter. Vignette: the sixth Aat, with a fish inside it. Text: the sixth Aat, which is to be painted green. The Osiris Nu, triumphant, saith: Hail, thou Amahet, which art holy unto the gods, and art hidden unto the Khus, and art baleful unto the dead. The name of the god who dwelleth therein is Seker At. Homage to thee, O Amahet. I have come to see the gods who dwell in thee. Uncover your faces, and lay down your head dresses when ye meet me, for behold, I am a mighty god among you, and I have come to prepare provisions for you. Let not Seker At have dominion over me. Let not the divine slaughterers come after me. Let not the murderous fiends come after me, but let me live upon sepulchral offerings among you. Vignette: the seventh Aat. Text: the seventh Aat, which is to be painted green. The Osiris triumphant saith: Hail, thou city of Ases, which art remote from sight, and the fire of which is in flame. There is a serpent within thee, and his name is Rerek. The length of his backbone is 7 cubits, and he liveth upon the Khus, and he annihilateth their glorious strength. Get thee back, O Rerek, who dwellest in the city of Ases, who devourest with thy mouth, and from whose eyes evil looks pour forth. Let thy bones be broken, and let thy emissions be impotent. Come thou not against me, and let not thy emissions come upon me. Let thy poison fall and lie dead upon the earth, and let thy 2 lips be in thy den. The Ka of the serpent hath fallen, and conversely I have gained glorious strength. The Maftet, that is lynx, hath cut off thy head. Vignette: the eighth Aat. Text: the eighth Aat, which is to be painted green, the Osiris Nu, triumphant, saith: Hail, Ha Hetep, great and mighty one of the canal! None can obtain the mastery over the water which is therein. It is mightily to be feared, and the roarings which are therein are mighty. The name of the god therein is Ka Ha Hetep, and he guardeth it gladly, so that none may enter. I am the Enur bird which is above the thigh of the god Anchor S, and I have brought the possessions of the earth to the god Tem, and I make strong and fortify the mariners of Ra. I have set the terror of myself in the divine lords of the shrine, and I have set the awe of me in the divine lords of things. Therefore I shall not be carried off to the slaughter block of those who would willingly destroy me. I am the guide of the northern horizon, and I know the god who is therein. Vignette: the ninth Aat, a crocodile thrusting his snout into a vase called Akesi. Text: the ninth Aat, which is to be painted yellow, the Osiris Nu, triumphant, saith: Hail, thou city Akesi, which are hidden from the gods! The Khus know the name of which the gods are afraid. None can enter therein, and none can come forth therefrom except that holy god who dwelleth in his egg, and who putteth his fear into the gods, and the terror of himself into the Khus. The opening into the city is of fire, and the winds thereof destroy both nostrils and mouths, and the god hath made it for those who follow willingly in his train. None can breathe the winds thereof except that holy god who dwelleth in his egg. He hath made the city so that he may dwell therein at will, and none can enter therein except on the day of great transformations. Homage to thee, O thou holy god, who dwellest in thine egg! I have come unto thee that I may be among those who follow thee. Let me come forth from the city of Akesi, let me enter therein, let the gates thereof be opened unto me, let me breathe the air which is therein, and let me have possession of the offerings thereof. Vignette: the tenth Aat, a man holding a knife in each hand, standing before, above him is a serpent. Text: the tenth Aat, which is to be painted yellow, the Osiris Nu, triumphant, saith: Hail, thou city of the gods Kahu, who take possession of the Khus and gain the mastery over the shades, Kaibit, who devour vigorous strength and consume filth when their eyes see, and who guard not the earth. Hail, ye who dwell in your Aats, cast yourselves upon your bellies when I pass by you. My glorious strength shall not be taken away, and none shall gain the mastery over my shade, for I am a divine hawk. Offerings of Anti unguent have been made ready by me, incense hath been offered by me, animals have been slaughtered by me. Isis hath made offerings to my head, Nephthys is behind me, and a road hath been made clear for me. Hail, serpent! Nau, bull of Nut, Neheb cow, I have come unto you, O gods. Deliver ye me, and grant ye unto me my glorious strength for ever. Vignette: the 11th Aat, wherein stands a jackal-headed god holding a knife. Text: the 11th Aat, which is to be painted green, the Osiris Nu, triumphant, saith: Hail, thou city which art in the underworld, Neter Khert, which coverest over the body, and gainest the mastery over the Khus. None can come forth therefrom, and none can enter therein, by reason of fear of the opposing power which is therein. Now the gods who are therein look upon it in iron, and the dead who are therein look upon it in his slaughterings, except the gods who live therein in his mystery of the Khus. Hail, thou city of Atu, grant thou unto me that I may pass on, for I am the god who is mighty of enchantments, by reason of the knife which came forth from the god Suti. I have my feet and legs forever. I rise like Ra. I am strong through the eye of Horus. My heart is lifted up after it was brought low. I am glorious in heaven, and I am mighty upon earth. I fly like a hawk, and I cackle like the smen goose, and it hath been given to me to alight at the thigh of the lake. I stand up upon it, I sit down upon it. I rise up like a god. I eat of the food of Sekti Hetep, and I go onwards to the domain of the starry gods. The double doors of Maat are opened unto me, and the double doors of the land of the great deep are unbolted before me. I set up a ladder to heaven among the gods, and I am a divine being among them. I speak with the voice of the Smen goose, to which the gods listen, and my speech and my voice are those of the star Sept Sothis. Vignette: the 12th Aat, called Ashchetet em Ament. Text: the 12th Aat, which is to be painted green. The Osiris Nu, triumphant, saith: Hail, thou Aat of the city of Unt, at the head of Re stau, the flame of which is a blazing fire. The gods are unable to approach thee, and the Khus are unable to gather together therein, by reason of the uraei which would blot out their names. Hail, thou Aat of Unt, I am in the form of the mighty God who dwelleth among the Khus and who dwelleth in thee. I am among the stars that never fail within thee. I shall never fail, and my name shall never fail. Hail, odor of the god, say they, the gods who dwell in the Aat of Unt. I shall be with you, I shall live with you. O ye gods who dwell in the Aat of Unt, love ye me more than your own gods, for I shall be with you forever in the presence of the followers of the great God. Vignette: the 13th Aat, called Uart ent Mu. Behind it stands the hippopotamus Hebetri F, with the right forepaw resting on a beetle. Text: the 13th Aat, which is to be painted green. The Osiris Nu, triumphant, saith: Hail, thou Aat, wherein the Khus gain no mastery. Thy waters are of fire, and the streams which are in thee burn with fire, and thy flame is of blazing fire. Those who are there and who wish to drink thy waters to quench their thirst cannot do so, by reason of the mighty dread which possesseth them, and by reason of the great terror which it causeth them to have. The gods and the Khus look upon the waters thereof and retreat without having quenched their thirst, and their hearts are not set at rest. And though they wish to enter into them, they cannot do so. The stream is filled with reeds, even as the stream which floweth from the issues which come forth from Osiris. I have gained the mastery over the waters thereof. I have drunk from the canal thereof, like the god who dwelleth in the Aat of the waters, and who is the guardian thereof. The gods are more afraid to drink the waters thereof than are the Khus, and they retreat therefrom. Homage to thee, O thou God who dwellest in the Aat of the waters. I have come unto thee. Grant thou that I may gain power over the waters thereof, and that I may drink from the canal thereof, even as thou dost allow to drink. The great God, from whom cometh Hap, that is the Nile, who maketh green things to come into being, who maketh to grow the things which grow, who maketh vigorous young plants and herbs, and who also giveth to the gods gifts which proceed from him, and offerings. And grant thou that I may come to Hap, and that I may gain power over young plants and herbs, for I am the son of thy body forever. Vignette: the 14th Aat, a range of mountains called Field of Kher Aba, a man holding a libation vase, the god Anubis, a hawk with a disk, a lion god, a man setting the Teshur crown upon a god, a hippopotamus, a crocodile, and a worm. Text: the 14th Aat, which is to be painted yellow. The Osiris Nu, triumphant, saith: Hail, thou Aat of Kher Aba, which turneth back Hap at Tatu. Grant thou that Hap may come abundant in grain as he advanceth for the mouth of those who eat, and giving divine offerings to the gods, and sepulchral meals for the Khus. There is a serpent in the double Kirti of Abu, elephantine, at the mouth of Hap, and he cometh with water, and he standeth up upon the thigh of Kher Aba with his divine sovereign princes at the head of the canal, and seeth in his hour, which is the silence of the night. Hail, ye gods of Kher Aba, and ye sovereign princes at the head of the canal thereof. Let your pools be open to me, let your streams be open to me, let me gain power over the water, let me rest on the canal, let me eat grain, let me be satisfied with your food, let me lift myself up, let my heart be great, even as is that of the god who dwelleth in Kher Aba. Let offerings like unto yours be made to me. Let me not be destroyed by the issues which come forth from Osiris, and let me not be withdrawn therefrom forever. Here endeth the book in peace. Chapter 150. Vignette: four serpents, emblematic probably of the cardinal points, and 15 Aats. 1. Sekhet Aaru, the god wherein is Ra Heru Khuti, Ra Hamarkus. 2. The brow of fire, the god wherein is Va Ankh, bearer of altars. 3. Mountain, exceedingly high. 4. Aat of the Khus. 5. Amahet, the god wherein is Seker Remu, overthrower of fish. 6. Aset. 7. Hasert, the god wherein is Vapet, bearer of heaven. 8. The brow of the gods Kahu. 9. Atu, the god wherein is Sept, Sothis. 10. Unt, the god wherein is Hetemet Bayu, destroyer of souls. 11. The brow of the waters, the god wherein is Aa Sekhemu. 12. Aat of Karaba, the god wherein is Hap Nile. 13. Stream of the lake of flames, which is in the fire. 14. Akesi, the god wherein is Maa Thet F. 15. The beautiful Amentet, the gods wherein live upon cakes and ale. End of chapters 146 through 150. Chapters 151 through 160 of the Egyptian Book of the Dead by E. A. Wallis Budge. Chapter 151. Vignette: the funeral chamber. In the center, upon a bier, lies the mummy of the deceased, and on one side is her soul in the form of a human-headed bird. The god Anubis, jackal-headed, stands on the other side, bending over the mummy. At the head of the bier kneels Nephthys, and at the foot Isis. The walls, which are here depicted as lying flat on the ground, are ornamented with emblems and texts, and at each corner stands one of the gods of the cardinal points. 2 Ushabtu figures, 2 souls, a flame, etc., fill up the remaining spaces. Text: Thy right eye is like the Sektet boat, thy left eye is like the Atet boat. Thine eyebrows are like Anpu, thy fingers are like Thoth, thy hair is like Ptah Seeker. They make a fair way for thee, and they smite down for thee the fiends of Set. Isis saith, I have come to protect thee, O Osiris, with the north wind which cometh forth from Tem. I have strengthened for thee thy throat. I have caused thee to be with the god, and I have placed all thine enemies under thy feet. Nephthys saith, I go round about behind my sister Osiris Mut Hetep. I have come that I may protect thee, and my strength which protecteth shall be behind thee for ever and ever. The god Ra hearkeneth unto thy cry. Thou, O daughter of Hathor, art made to triumph. Thy head shall never be taken away from thee, and thou shalt be made to rise up in peace. A deity saith, if any would come to fetter thee, I will not allow him to do so. If any would come to hurl missiles at thee, I will not allow him to do so. But I will fetter thee, and I will hurl missiles at thee, and I am protecting thee, O Mut Hetep triumphant. The Tet saith, O thou that comest quickly, I turn back thy steps, O Khepra, and I illumine thy hidden place. I stand behind the Tet on the day of turning back slaughters, and I am protecting thee, O Mut Hetep triumphant before Osiris. The flame saith, I surround with sand the hidden tomb, and drive away him that would attack it. I lighten the funeral mountain, I cast light thereon, I traverse the way, and I protect Mut Hetep triumphant. Anubis, who is at the head of the divine hall, and who dwelleth upon his mountain, the lord of Tatchesert, saith, I have come to protect Osiris Mut Hetep triumphant. The living soul of Mut Hetep saith, let Ra be adored in heaven when he setteth on the western horizon of heaven. The living soul and the perfect khu of Mut Hetep triumphant before Osiris say, adored be Ra when he riseth in the eastern horizon of heaven. The lady of the house Mut Hetep saith, hail, Shabti figure, if I be condemned, or if there be allotted to me any work to do in the underworld, behold, let opposition be set aside, such as is done by a man in his turn, namely, sowing the fields, and filling the channels with water, and bringing the sand of the west to the east. O be thou present when I call upon thee. Mestha saith, I am thy daughter, O Mut Hetep, and I have come to protect thee. I make thy house to germinate and to be stablished firmly, according to what Ptah hath commanded, and according to what Ra hath commanded. Hapi saith, I have come to protect thee, O Osiris Mut Hetep. I bind up for thee thy head and thy members, I smite down thine enemies for thee beneath thee, and I give thee thy head for ever. Saith Tua Maut F, I am thy daughter, who loveth thee, O Mut Hetep, triumphant for ever. I have come, and I have avenged thee, O my father Osiris, upon him that did evil unto thee, and I have brought him under thy feet. Keb Senu F, I am Keb Senu F, and I have come that I may protect Mut Hetep. I have collected into a whole body for thee thy bones. I have gathered together for thee thy members. I have brought thy heart, and I do set it upon its seat within thy body, and I make thy house to germinate after thee. Chapter 151. Vignette: The god Anpu (Anubis) standing by the mummy of the deceased, which lies on a bier. Text: The god Anpu, who dwelleth in the city of embalmment, the governor of the divine house, placeth his two hands upon the Lord of life of Nebseni, the scribe and draftsman of the temple of Ptah, the lord of piety, the son of the scribe and designer Thena, triumphant, born of the lady of the house Mut Resth, triumphant, and he furnisheth him with the things which belong to him. Homage to thee, O happy one, divine lord, who art endowed with the sight of the Utchat. Ptah Seker hath bound thee up, Anpu hath exalted thee, and Shu hath caused thee to be lifted up, O face of beauty, thou divine prince of eternity. Thou hast thine eye, O scribe Nebseni, thou lord of piety, and beautiful it is. Thy right eye is in the Sektet boat, and thy left eye is in the Atet boat, and thine eyebrows are of fair appearance in the presence of the company of the gods. Thy brow is in the protection of Anpu, and the back of thy head, O beautiful one, is before the holy hawk. Thy fingers are stablished with written works in the presence of the Lord of Khemennu Thoth, who hath given to me the speech of the sacred books. Thy hair is beautiful before Ptah Seker, and thou, O scribe Nebseni, thou lord of piety, art beautiful before the great company of the gods. The great God looketh upon thee, and he leadeth thee along the path of happiness, and sepulchral meals are bestowed upon thee. He overthroweth for thee all thine enemies, and setteth them under thee in the presence of the great company of the gods who dwell in the mighty house of the Aged One, which is in Anu Heliopolis. Chapter 152. Vignette: The deceased standing before a house. Text: The chapter of building a house upon the earth. The overseer of the palace, the chancellor in chief, Nu, triumphant, saith: Hail! Seb rejoiceth, for the Osiris Nu standeth up over his body, and he goeth round about among those who follow Ra. To men and to the gods who have given birth to their own fathers, I have ascribed praise, and they have sight. The goddess Sesheta hath brought the god Nebit, and Anpu (Anubis) hath called unto the Osiris Nu to build a house on the earth. Its foundation is in Anu Heliopolis, and the circuit thereof reacheth to Kher aba. The shrine is like that of the god Sekhem, who dwelleth in Sekhem, according to that which I have written for the renewal thereof, and men and women bring offerings and libations and ministrants. And Osiris saith unto the gods who are in his following, and who journey along, Behold ye the house which hath been built for Aku, who is provided with all his attributes, who cometh daily to renew himself among you. O hold ye him in awe, and ascribe ye unto him praises, and let him be a favoured being with you. Look ye to what I have done and to what I have said. And Osiris saith concerning the god, Let him come daily to renew himself among you, and let beasts for sacrifice be brought unto him by the south wind, and let grain be brought unto him by the north wind, and let barley be brought unto him from the ends of the earth. The mouth of Osiris hath ordered this for me. Drawing onward, may he go round about on his left hand, may he place himself on his right hand, and may he see men, and the gods, and the Khus, and the dead drawing him along with praises and cries of joy, and may he be a favoured being with them. Chapter 153a. Vignette: a net fastened at one end to ground below or near water, by means of a stake driven through a coil of rope which is drawn tight by the deceased. Text: the Chapter of coming forth from the net. The Osiris Nu, the overseer of the palace, the chancellor in chief, triumphant, saith: "Hail, thou god who lookest behind thee, thou god who hast gained the mastery over thine heart. I go a-fishing with the cordage of the Uniter of the earth, and of him that maketh a way through the earth. Hail, ye fishers who have given birth to your own fathers, who lay snares with your nets, and who go round about in the chambers of the waters. Take ye not me in the net, wherewith ye ensnared the helpless fiends, and rope me not in with the rope wherewith ye roped in the abominable earth followers, which had its wooden frame reaching unto heaven, and its weighted parts upon the earth. Let me come forth, that is escaped from the pegs thereof. Let me rejoice along with the god of the Hennu boat. Let me come forth from its bars. Let me rise up like the god Sebek, and let me make a flight to you away from the snare of the fowler whose fingers are hidden. I know the pole with curved ends which is in it. Mighty finger of Sekri is its name. I know the Mechas which is in it. Thigh of the god Nemu is its name. I know the piece of wood which openeth in it. Hand of Isis is its name. I know the knife of slaughter which is in it. Slaughtering knife, wherewith Isis cut off a piece of flesh from Horus, is its name. I know the names of the frame and weights which are in it. Leg and thigh of the double lion god are their names. I know the name of the cordage wherewith it snareth living things. Vigor of Tem is its name. I know the name of the snarers who lay snares therewith. Akheru gods, ancestors of the Akabiu gods, are their names. I know the names of its hands, 2 hands of the great god, the Lord who heareth speech in Anu Heliopolis on the night of the festival of the half month in the temple of the moon god, are their names. I know the name of the thigh which surroundeth it at its upper part. Thigh of iron whereupon the gods stand is its name. I know the name of the superintendent who receiveth the fish therefrom. Knife and vessel of the superintendent of the god is his name. I know the name of the table whereat he placeth himself. Table of Horus, whereat he sitteth in solitude in the darkness, and is not seen. The abjects fear him, and those therein ascribe unto him praises, is its name. I have come, and I am crowned, or have risen like the mighty god who leadeth along the earth, and I have gone down to the earth in the 2 great boats, and behold, the mighty one hath placed me within the temple of the mighty god. I have come along with the snarer. My wooden tools, a writ, are with me, my knife is with me, and my hacking knife is with me. I come forth, and I go round about, and I snare with the net. I know the name of the pole with curved ends. Temen Ru, flowing from the great finger of Osiris, is its name. I know the name of the 2 pieces of wood which hold fast. Hooks of the ancestors of Ra is the name of one, and Hook of the ancestor of Hathor is the name of the other. I, even I, know the cords which are on the pole with curved ends. Cords of the Lord of mankind is their name. I know the name of the table. Hand of Isis is its name. I know the name of its ropes. Rope of the god, the firstborn, is their name. I know the name of the cordage. Cordage of the day is its name. I know the names of the fowlers and of the fishermen. Akheru gods, ancestors of Ra, is their name. I know the names of the Temamu, ancestors of Seb, is their name. I have brought unto thee that which thou eatest, and I have brought that which I eat, and thou eatest that which Seb eateth with Osiris. Hail, thou god whose face is behind him, thou god who hast gained the mastery over his heart, thou fisher and fowler of the opener of the earth. Hail, ye fishers who have given birth to your own fathers, and who lay snares within the city of Nefer-Sent. Take ye me not into your net, and snare ye me not with the snares wherewith ye ensnared the helpless fiends, and wherewith ye caught the abominable earth followers, for I know the net. I know the upper framework and the lower heavy parts thereof. Behold me then, for I have come. I have my pole with curved ends with me. I have my Mechas with me. I have my table with me, and I have my slaughtering knife with me. I have come, and I have entered in, and I have myself pressed forward. Know ye that I, even I, know the name of the snarer of, or that which snareth fowl in his place? I have smitten it, I have opened it out, I have struck it, and I have set it upon its seat. Now the mekhes which is with me is the thigh of the god Nemu, and the pole with curved ends which is with me is the finger of Sekeri, and the table which is with me is the hand of Isis, and the slaughtering knife which is with me is the slaughtering knife of the god Nemu. O grant that I may come. O grant then that I may sit in the boat of Ra. Let me sail forth on the lake of Testes towards the northern heaven. Let me do as do they who sing, when they sing praises of my Ka, and let me live as do they there. The Osiris Nu, triumphant, cometh forth upon your ladder which Ra hath made for him, and Horus and Suti hold him fast by his hand. In the Sa'ite Recension, the following rubric is added to this chapter. This chapter shall be recited over a figure of the deceased, which shall be put in a boat. And behold, thou shalt make a Sektet boat on his right side, and a Matet boat on his left, and let them bring offerings of cakes, and of ale, and of all kinds of fair things, on the day of the birth of Osiris. The soul of him whom these things have been given shall live for ever, and he shall not die a second time. Chapter 153b. Vignette: a net full of fish being drawn together by 3 dog-headed apes. Text: the chapter of coming forth from the catcher of the fish. The Osiris Nu, the overseer of the palace, the chancellor in chief, triumphant, saith: Hail, ye who lay snares, and ye who work the nets, and ye who are fishers! Hail, ye who have given birth to your own fathers! Know ye that I know the name of the great and mighty net? Ankhet, that is, clincher, is its name. Know ye that I know the name of its cordage? Rut, that is, vigor, of Isis, is its name. Know ye that I know the name of the Mehes? Thigh of Tem is its name. Know ye that I know the name of its pole with curved ends? Finger of Nemu is its name. Know ye that I know the name of its table? Hook of Ptah is its name. Know ye that I know the name of its slaughtering knife? Chopper of Isis is its name. Know ye that I know the name of its weights? Iron in heaven is their name. Know ye that I know the name of its rushes? Feathers or hair of the hawk is their name. Know ye that I know the name of the fishers? Ape is their name. Know ye that I know the name of the thigh? Thigh whereon standeth the temple of the moon is its name. Know ye that I know the name of the fowler? Prince, mighty one who sitteth on the eastern side of heaven is his name. I have not eaten, O great divine one. Behold, the great divine one hath given me drink. I have not seated myself upon my thighs in the waters, but I eat, and I satisfy myself with food before him. The seeds of death are in my body. I am Nekha, I am Ra, coming forth from Nu, the divine soul of the god. I create the god Hu, and wrong is the thing which I abominate. I am Osiris, the maker of Maat, whereon Ra doth live each and every day. I am invoked by the name of Bull, and I am addressed among the company of the gods by the name of Nekh. I create mine own self along with Nu in my name of Khepera, whereby I create myself each and every day. I am the god of divine splendor, and I rise up as Ra, the lord of the East. Life is given unto me through his comings forth therefrom. I have come into heaven, and I embrace my seat which is in the east, with the children of the princes who dwell in their fields, and I have delivered her that brought me forth in peace. I eat like the god Shu, I satisfy myself with food like the god Shu. I ease myself like the god Shu. The divine kings of the north and south are with me. The god Khonsu is with me, and those who bind up their heads are with me. Embrace ye then the flame in the land of the multitude. Chapter 154. Vignette: this chapter has no vignette in the Theban Recension. In the Sa'ite Recension, the mummy of the deceased is seen lying upon a bier with the sun shining upon it. Text: the chapter of not letting the body perish. The Osiris Nu, the overseer of the palace, the chancellor in chief, triumphant, saith: Homage to thee, O my divine father Osiris! I came to embalm thee. Do thou embalm these my members, for I would not perish and come to an end, but would be even like unto my divine father Khepera, the divine type of him that never saw corruption. Come then, make strong my breath, then, O Lord of the winds, who dost magnify those divine beings who are like unto himself. Stablish me doubly, then, and fashion me strongly. O Lord of the funeral chest, grant thou that I may enter into the land of everlastingness, according to that which was done for thee along with thy father Tem, whose body never saw corruption, and who is the being who never saw corruption. I have never done that which thou hatest, nay, I have cried out among those who love thy Ka. Let not my body become worms, but deliver me as thou didst thyself. I pray thee, let me not fall into rottenness, even as thou dost permit every god, and every goddess, and every animal, and every reptile to see corruption when the soul hath gone forth from them after their death. And when the soul departeth or perisheth, a man seeth corruption, and the bones of his body rot and become wholly stinkingness, the members decay piecemeal, the bones crumble into a helpless mass, and the flesh becometh fetid liquid, and he becometh a brother unto the decay which cometh upon him, and he turneth into multitudes of worms, and he becometh altogether worms, and an end is made of him, and he perisheth in the sight of the god Shu, even as doth every god, and every goddess, and every feathered fowl, and every fish, and every creeping thing, and every reptile, and every animal, and everything whatsoever. Therefore shall they fall on their bellies when they recognize me, and behold, the fear of me shall terrify them. And thus likewise shall it be with every being after death, whether it be animal, or bird, or fish, or worm, or reptile. Let life come from its death, and let not decay caused by any reptile make an end of me, and let them not come against me in their various forms. Do not thou give me over unto that slaughterer who dwelleth in his torture chamber, who killeth the members and maketh them rot, being himself hidden, who worketh destruction upon many dead bodies, and liveth by slaughter. Let me live and perform his message, and let me do that which is commanded by him. Give me not over unto his fingers, let him not gain the mastery over me, for I am under thy command, O Lord of the gods. Homage to thee, O my divine father Osiris. Thou hast thy being with thy members. Thou didst not decay. Thou didst not become worms. Thou didst not diminish. Thou didst not become corrupt. Thou didst not putrefy. And thou didst not turn into worms. I am the god Khepera, and my members shall have an everlasting existence. I shall not decay. I shall not rot. I shall not putrefy. I shall not turn into worms, and I shall not see corruption before the eye of the god Shu. I shall have my being. I shall have my being. I shall live. I shall live. I shall germinate. I shall germinate. I shall germinate. I shall wake up in peace. I shall not putrefy. My intestines shall not perish. I shall not suffer injury. Mine eyes shall not decay. The form of my visage shall not disappear. Mine ear shall not become deaf. My head shall not be separated from my neck. My tongue shall not be carried away. My hair shall not be cut off. Mine eyebrows shall not be shaved off. And no baleful injury shall come upon me. My body shall be established, and it shall neither fall into ruin nor be destroyed on this earth. Chapter 155. Vignette: Atet. Text: the chapter of Atet of gold. The Osiris Nu, the overseer of the palace, the chancellor in chief, saith: Rise up, thou, O Osiris. Thou hast thy backbone, O still heart. Thou hast the ligatures of thy neck and back, O still heart. Place thou thyself upon thy base. I put water beneath thee, and I bring unto thee a Tet of gold, that thou mayest rejoice therein. Rubric: this chapter shall be recited over a Tet of gold, set in a plinth of sycamore wood, which hath been steeped in water and uncum flowers, and it shall be placed at the neck of the deceased on the day of the funeral. If this amulet be placed at his neck, he shall become a perfect Khu in the underworld, and at the New Year festivals he shall be like those who are in the following of Osiris continually and forever. Chapter 156. Vignette: A buckle. Text: the chapter of a buckle of carnelian. The Osiris Nu, the overseer of the palace, the chancellor in chief, saith: May the blood of Isis and the power of Isis and the enchantments of Isis be powers to protect this mighty one, and to guard him from him that would do unto him anything which he abominateth. Rubric: this chapter shall be said over a buckle of carnelian, which hath been steeped in water of ankami flowers, and set in a plinth of sycamore wood, and it shall be placed at the neck of the deceased on the day of the funeral. If these things be done for him, the powers of Isis shall protect his limbs, and Horus the son of Isis shall rejoice in him when he seeth him, and there shall be no hidden places on his path, and one hand shall be towards heaven, and one hand shall be towards earth, regularly and continually. thou shalt not let any person who is with thee see it. Chapter 157. Vignette: a vulture with outstretched wings, holding the symbol of life in each talon. Text: the chapter of the vulture of gold which is to be placed at the neck of the deceased. The Osiris Auf Ankh, triumphant, saith: Isis cometh and hovereth over the city, and she goeth about seeking the secret habitations of Horus as he emergeth from his papyrus swamps, and she lifteth up his shoulder which is in evil case. He is made one of the company in the divine boat, and the sovereignty of the whole world is decreed for him. He hath warred mightily, and he maketh his deeds to be remembered. He hath made fear of him to exist, and awe of him to have its being. His mother, the mighty lady, protecteth him, and she hath transferred her power to Horus. Rubric: this chapter shall be set over a vulture of gold, whereupon it hath been inscribed, and thou shalt place the vulture on the neck to protect the perfect deceased one on the day of the funeral continually and regularly. Chapter 158. Vignette: a collar. Text: the chapter of a collar of gold which shall be placed at the neck of the deceased. The Osiris Auf Ankh, triumphant, saith: O my father, my brother, my mother Isis, I am unswathed and I see. I am one of those who are unswathed and who see the gods said. Rubric: this chapter shall be set over a collar of gold, whereon it hath been engraved, and the collar shall be placed on the neck of the deceased on the day of the funeral. Chapter 159. Vignette: the Uach amulet. Text: the chapter of the Uach amulet made of mother of emerald, which shall be placed at the neck of the deceased. The Osiris Auf Ankh, triumphant, saith: Hail, thou who comest forth daily from the temple of the god. The mighty lady speaketh, and she goeth round about in the gate of the double house, and she taketh possession of the might of her father, that is to say, the Sahu, who is the bull of the goddess Renenet. She taketh those who are in her following, and she maketh an opportunity for those, the opportunity of the door. Rubric: this chapter shall be set over an Uach of mother of emerald, whereupon it hath been inscribed, and the Uach shall be placed on the neck of the deceased. Chapter 160. Vignette: Thoth, the great god, giving an Uach amulet of mother of emerald to the deceased. Text: the chapter of giving an Uach of mother of emerald to the scribe Nebseni, triumphant, who saith: I am the Uach of the mother of emerald, which cannot be injured, and which the hand of Thoth adoreth. Injury is a thing which I abominate. It is in sound state, and I am in sound state. It is not injured, and I am not injured. It is not worn away, and I am not worn away. The words of Thoth are at thy back, O thou who comest in peace, O divine prince of Anu, Heliopolis, thou mighty god who dwellest in the city of Pe. The god Shu advanceth to him and findeth him in the city of Shenmu, in his name Neshem, that is, mother of emerald. He maketh his place in the fortress of the mighty god. The god Tem resteth upon his eye, and his members shall not suffer injury. End of chapters 151 through 160. Chapters 161 through 170 of the Egyptian Book of the Dead by E. A. Wallis Budge. Chapter 161. Vignette: the god Thoth opening the doors of the four winds. Text: the chapter of forcing an entrance into heaven. This Thoth doeth to make felicitous the way for him that would enter into the disk. 1. To the door of the west wind. Ra liveth, the tortoise dieth. Pure is the body in the earth, and pure are the bones of Osiris the Am Kent. Nefer Uben F, triumphant. 2. To the door of the east wind. Ra liveth, the tortoise dieth. Sound is he who is in the chest. Who is in the chest? Osiris Nefer Uben F, triumphant. 3. To the door of the north wind. Ra liveth, the tortoise dieth. The Osiris Nefer Uben F, triumphant, is strong in his members. Keb Senef guardeth them. 4. To the door of the south wind. Ra liveth, the tortoise dieth. The bolts are drawn, and they pass through his foundation. Rubric: every Sahu for whom these divine figures have been painted upon his coffin shall make his way through these four entrances into heaven. That of the north wind belongeth to Osiris, that of the south wind to Ra, that of the west wind to Isis, and that of the east wind to Nephthys. Each one of these winds shall breathe into his nostrils as he entereth in his daily course. Let none who is outside know this chapter. It is a great mystery, and those who dwell in the swamps, that is, the ignorant, know it not. Thou shalt not do this in the presence of any person except thy father, or thy son, or thyself alone, for it is indeed an exceedingly great mystery which no man whatever knoweth. Chapter 162. Vignette: a cow having the disk with plumes between her horns, and wearing the collar, from which is suspended the emblem of life, round her neck. Text: the chapter of making heat to be under the head of the deceased. To be recited: Homage to thee, O thou god Par, thou mighty one, whose plumes are lofty, thou lord of the Ureret crown, who rulest with the whip. Thou art the lord of the phallus, thou growest as thou shinest with rays of light, and thy shining is to the uttermost parts of earth and sky. Thou art the lord of transformations, and hast manifold skins which thou hidest in the Utchat at its birth. Thou art the mighty one of names among the gods, the mighty runner whose strides are mighty. Thou art the god, the mighty one, who comest and rescuest the needy one and the afflicted from him that oppresseth him. Give heed to my cry. I am the cow, and thy divine name is in my mouth, and I will utter it. Ha ka ha ka her is thy name. Ara Ker Sanquebathi is thy name. Ker Sarau is thy name. Kar Satha is thy name. I praise thy name. I am the cow that hearkeneth unto the petition on the day wherein thou placest heat under the head of Ra. O place it for him in the divine gate in Annu (Heliopolis), and thou shalt make him to become even like him that is upon the earth. He is thy soul. O be gracious unto Osiris Auf ankh, triumphant, and cause thou heat to exist under his head, for indeed he is the soul of the great divine body which resteth in Annu. Khu Keper Uru is his name. Barakatha Chara is his name. Be gracious then, and grant that he may become like unto one of those who are in thy following, for he is even as art thou. Rubric: this chapter shall be recited over the image of a cow, which shall be made in fine gold and placed at the neck of the deceased, and it shall be written upon new papyrus and placed under his head. Then shall abundant warmth be in him throughout, even like that which was in him when he was upon earth. This hath exceedingly great protective power, for it was made by the cow for her son Ra when he was setting, and when his habitation was surrounded by a company of beings of fire. And the deceased shall become divine in the underworld, and he shall never be turned back at any of the gates thereof. And thou shalt say, when thou placest the image of this goddess at the neck of the deceased: O Amen, O Amen, who art in heaven, turn thy face upon the dead body of thy son, and make him sound and strong in the underworld. This is a composition of exceedingly great mystery. Let not the eye of any man whatsoever see it, for it is an abominable thing for every man to know it. Therefore hide it. Book of the Mistress of the Hidden Temple is its name. Chapter 163. Vignette: two winged Utchats on legs, and a serpent also upon legs, with a disk and horns upon his head. Text: the chapters which are taken from another work, and are here added to the Book of Coming Forth by Day. The chapter of not allowing the body of a man to moulder away in the underworld, and of delivering him from those who devour the souls that are shut in the underworld, and of not allowing to rise up against him the things which he abominated upon earth, and of making sound and strong his limbs and bones against worms, and against every god who would attack him in the underworld, and of causing him to come forth and to go in as he pleaseth, and to do whatsoever he hath in his heart to do without hindrance. The Osiris Auf ankh, triumphant, saith: I am the divine soul of the great divine body which is laid to rest in Athebu, which protecteth the body of Harethi, the which resteth in the marshes of Senhakareha. O divine soul, which hath no languor of heart either in rising or setting, and which resteth within his divine body, which is laid to rest in Sen Haparakana, grant thou to Osiris Auf Ankh, triumphant, that he may deliver himself from the souls of the god of the savage face, who gaineth the mastery over hearts and taketh possession of limbs, and from whose mouths fire cometh forth to devour souls. Hail, thou who art lying prostrate within thy body, whose flame cometh into being from out of the fire, which blazeth within the sea or water, in such wise that the sea or water is raised up on high out of the fire thereof. Grant thou that the flame may leave the fire, wherever it may be, to raise up the hand of Osiris Auf Ankh, triumphant, and to make him to have an existence for ever and for ever. Verily, let his period of existence be as the period of existence of heaven, in the limitless boundaries thereof. Heaven holdeth thy soul, O Osiris Auf Ankh, and earth holdeth thy form. O deliver thou Osiris Auf Ankh, triumphant, and let him not be consumed by the Kawi, who devour the souls of those who have raised up evil. Let his soul have its being within his body, and let his body have its being with his soul. And let him be hidden within the pupil of the Uchat of the god whose name is Shari Shari Shapu Neter Ari Ka, who reposeth at the northwest of the brow of the Opt of the land of Kenset, Nubia, and journeyeth not to the east. Hail, God Amen, thou divine bull scarab, thou lord of the divine Uchats, God, the pupil of whose eye is terrible, is thy name. The Osiris Auf Ankh, triumphant, born of Sheret Amsu, triumphant, is the emanation of thy two eyes, the name of one of which is Sher Sherket, and Shapu Neter Arika of the other, though Shaka Amen Shakanasa at the brow of Tem, who illumineth the two lands, is his name in very truth. Grant that Osiris Auf Ankh, triumphant, may be of this land of Maat. Let him not be left in his solitude, for he is of this earth wherein he will no more appear, and An is his name. O let him be with a perfect khu, or as others say, a strong khu, and let him be the soul of the mighty body which is in Sao, Sais, the city of Neith. Rubric: this chapter is to be recited over a serpent having legs and wearing a disk and two horns, and over two Uchats having both eyes and wings. In the pupil of one of the Uchats there shall be a figure of the god of the lifted hand with the face of the divine soul, and having plumes and a back like a hawk. And in the pupil of the other there shall be a figure of the god of the lifted hand with the face of the goddess Neith, and having plumes and a back like a hawk. And this chapter shall be written with Anti, either upon a May stone or upon mother of emerald of the south, and dipped in water of the western lake of Kemt, Egypt, or upon a bandage of Uatchet, linen wherewith a man should swathe every limb, and the deceased shall not be turned back at any gate of the underworld. He shall eat and drink and ease himself even as he did when he was upon earth, and none shall rise up to cry out against him, and he shall be protected from the hands of the enemy for ever and ever. If this book be recited for him upon earth, he shall not be seized by the messengers of attack who work evil in all the earth. He shall not have gashes inflicted upon him. He shall not die through the slaughter of Set, and he shall not be carried off to any place of restraint whatsoever, but he shall go in unto the Kenbet, and he shall come forth with triumph, and he shall go out to terrify the evildoers who exist in all the earth. Chapter 164. Vignette: a goddess with a head of a woman and two heads of a vulture, standing with outstretched wings. On each side of her is a dwarf with two heads, one of a man and one of a hawk. Each dwarf has a disk and plumes upon his head. Text: another chapter. Homage to thee, O Sekhet Bast Ra, thou mistress of the gods, thou bearer of wings, lady of the Anas bandlet, queen of the crowns of the south and of the north, only one, sovereign of her father superior, to whom the gods cannot be, thou mighty one of enchantments in the boat of millions of years, thou who art preeminent, who risest in the seat of silence, mother of Pasha Kasa, royal wife of Parahaka Kaperu, mistress and lady of the tomb, mother in the horizon of heaven, gracious one, beloved, destroyer of rebellion, offerings are in thy grasp, and thou art standing in the bows of the boat of thy divine Father to overthrow the fiend. Thou hast placed Maat in the bows of his boat. Thou art the fire goddess Ami Seshet, whose opportunity escapeth her not. Thy name is Kaharasa Parsaram Kakaramet. Thou art like unto the mighty flame of Sakanakat, which is in the bows of the boat of thy father Hara Pukaka Shara Shah Bayu. For behold, this is the name uttered in the speech of the Negroes and of the Anti and of people of Ta Kansatet, Nubia. Praise be to thee, O lady, who art mightier than the gods, and words of adoration rise to thee from the 8 gods. The living souls who are in their chests praise thy mystery, O thou who art their mother, thou source from whom they sprang, who makest for them a place of repose in the hidden underworld, who makest sound their bones and preservest them from terror, who makest them strong in the abode of everlastingness, who preservest them from the evil chamber of the souls of the god of the terrible face, who is among the company of the gods. Babe, that comest forth from the god of the terrible face, who keepeth his body hidden, is thy name. Atari Am Chur Kemtu Renu. Par Sheta is the name of one divine son. Pa Nema is the name of the other. Uchat of Sekhet, mighty lady, mistress of the gods, is thy name. Emanation of is the name of Mut, who maketh souls strong, and who maketh sound bodies, and who delivereth them from the abode of the fiends, which is in the evil chamber. The goddess saith with her own mouth, they shall never be fettered, and I will do according to what ye say, O ye Techawi of the divine son, for whom they performed the funeral rites. Rubric: this chapter shall be recited over a figure of Mut, which hath 3 heads. The first shall be like unto that of Pekut, and shall have upon it plumes. The second shall be like unto that of a man, and shall have upon it the crowns of the south and north. And the third shall be like unto that of a vulture, and shall have upon it plumes. And the figure shall have a phallus, and a pair of wings, and the claws of a lion, and it shall be painted with ant and powder of uach mixed with yellow color upon a bandage of honest linen. In front of it shall stand one dwarf, and behind it another, and each shall have upon him plumes, and one hand and arm shall be raised, and each shall have 2 faces, one of a hawk and one of a man, and the body of each shall be fat. Then shall the deceased be divine along with the gods in the underworld. He shall never, never be turned back. His flesh and his bones shall be like those of one who hath never been dead. He shall drink water at the source of the stream. A homestead shall be given unto him in Sekhet Anre. He shall become a star of heaven. He shall set out against the serpent fiend Nekau, and against Tar, who are in the underworld. He shall not be shut in along with the souls which are fettered. He shall deliver himself wherever he may be, and worms shall not devour him. Chapter 165. Vignette: an Ithyphallic god with the body of a beetle. On his head are plumes, and his right hand and arm are raised. Behind him is a man who has a ram's head on each shoulder. Text: the chapter of arriving in port, to make the body germinate, and to drink water, and not to disappear. Recite the following: Hail, Bekenu, Bekenu, O Prince, Prince, O Amen, Amen, O Re Lukasa, O God, Prince of the gods of the eastern part of heaven, O Amen Na Thakurethi, Amen. O thou whose skin is hidden, whose form is secret, thou Lord of the 2 horns of Nut, thy name is Na Ari K, or as others say, Ka Ari Ka. Ka Sa'ika is thy name. Arathika Sathika is thy name. Amena An Ka and Tekshara, or as others say, Thekshara Amen Karethi is thy name. O Amen, let me make supplication unto thee. I, even I, know thy name. Thy transformations are in my mouth. Thy skin is before my eyes. Come, I pray thee, and place thou thy heir and thy image. Osiris Auf Ankh, triumphant, born of Sheret, Amsu, triumphant, in the everlasting underworld. Grant thou that all his members may repose in Neter Kertet, the underworld, or, as others say, in Ekertet, the underworld. Let his whole body become like that of a god. Let him escape from the evil chamber, and let him not be imprisoned therein. I adore thy name. Thou hast made for me a skin, and thou hast comprehended my speech, and thou knowest it exceedingly well. Amen is thy name, O Ret Ashakah, I have made for thee a skin, namely a divine soul. Irakai is thy name, Markathai is thy name, Rarai is thy name, Nasab Bubu is thy name, Thanasa is thy name, Shara Katha is thy name. O Amen, O Amen, O God, O God, O Amen, I adore thy name. Grant thou to me that I may comprehend thee. Grant thou that I may have peace in the Tuat underworld, and may possess all my members therein. And the divine soul which is in Nut saith, I will make my divine strength to protect thee, and I will perform everything which thou hast said. Rubric: this chapter shall be recited over a figure of the god of the lifted hand, which shall have plumes upon its head. The legs thereof shall be wide apart, and the middle portion of it shall be in the form of a beetle, and it shall be painted blue with lapis lazuli mixed with kamai water, and it shall be recited over a figure with a head like unto that of a man, and the hands and arms thereof shall be stretched away from its body. Above its right shoulder shall there be the head of a ram, and above its left shoulder shall there be the head of a ram. And thou shalt paint upon a piece of linen a figure of the god of the lifted hand, immediately over his heart, and thou shalt paint the other figure over the breasts. Let not the god Sakati, who is in the underworld, know it. Then shall the deceased drink water from the source of the stream, and he shall shine like the stars in the heavens above. Chapter 166. Vignette: a headrest. Text: the chapter of the pillow. Thou art lifted up, O sick one that liest prostrate, O scribe Nebseni. They lift up thy head to the horizon. Thou art raised up, and dost triumph by reason of what hath been done for thee. Ptah hath overthrown thine enemies, according to what was ordered to be done for thee. Thou art Horus, the son of Hathor, Nesertet, who giveth back the head after the slaughter. Thy head shall not be carried away from thee after the slaughter. Thy head shall never, never be carried away from thee. Chapter 167. Vignette: the Utchat resting upon the emblem of gold. Text: the chapter of bringing the Utchat. Nebseni, the scribe, saith, the god Thoth hath brought the Utchat, and he hath made it to rest, or to be at peace, after it departed. O Ra, it was grievously afflicted by storm, but Thoth made it to be at rest after it had departed from the storm. I am sound, and it is sound. I am sound, and it is sound. And Nebseni, the lord of piety, is sound. Chapter 168. Vignette: a stream upon which sail three boats. The first contains Khenemu, the second Khepera, and the third Ra. Each god is seated in a shrine. Harpocrates occupies the place of lookout in the boats of Khenem and Ra. Behind the boats Ra is seated on a throne which rests on the water. Two hands and arms stretch down from heaven and enshrine him. A man-headed sphinx on a bier, a god with a serpent on his head, two gods lying on biers with a serpent between, Anubis, a goddess seated, a bull on a pedestal, a man-headed lion, two gods and two goddesses, a bowed human figure and a mummy, a man holding a disc shedding light, two women lying face downwards, two male figures each carrying a human being on his head. Text: the 27 short lines of text which accompany this vignette consist of extracts from a version of the chapter which is given in full immediately following, and to this the reader is referred. Chapter 168. Section 1. Text: may they who carry the burden above them to heaven in front of the boat of Ra grant that Osiris may see Ra when he shineth. Vignette: a god carrying a child upon his shoulders, and the number 4. Text: and there shall be made unto them an offering of a libation of one vase upon earth by Osiris, the lord of offerings in Amentet, in the Bight of Sekhet Hetep. Text: may they who carry the burden above them to heaven in front of the boat of Ra grant that Osiris may see Ra when he shineth. Vignette: a god carrying a child upon his shoulders, and 4. Text: and there shall be made unto them an offering of a libation of one vase upon earth by Osiris, the follower of the great god, the lord of the beautiful Amentet. Text: may they who smite Ra grant that cakes shall come unto Osiris as to the followers of Ra when he setteth. Vignette: a woman lying face downwards, and 4. Text: and there shall be made unto them an offering of a libation of one vase upon earth by Osiris when Horus, the lord of Tehet, cometh. Text: may they who possess offerings grant that Osiris shall exist, even as do those who are in the underworld. Vignette: a woman lying face downwards, and 4. Text: And there shall be made unto them an offering of a libation of one vase upon earth by Osiris, who shall come forth and go in along with Ra for ever. Text: May those who build up grant that Osiris shall arrive happily in the hall of double truth. Vignette: A woman lying face downwards. And 4. Text: And there shall be made unto them an offering of a libation of one vase upon earth by Osiris, as Lord of offerings in the beautiful Amentet. Text: May those who make adorations grant that Osiris shall follow after Ra in his boat. Vignette: A god bowing to the ground. And 4. Text: And there shall be made unto them an offering of a libation of one vase upon earth by Osiris, who shall walk with long strides with the gods of the underworld. Text: May those who have offerings and who make sacrificial meals for the gods grant oblations of tchefau food to Osiris in the underworld. Vignette: A god holding upright a conical object. Text: And there shall be made unto them an offering of a libation of one vase upon earth by Osiris, along with them whose souls shall stand up at the pylon. Section 2. The gods of the eighth Queret in the underworld, whose attributes are hidden, and who wins. Text: May the gods who dwell in their shrines, the princes of Nu, grant that Osiris shall drink water. Vignette: A god in a shrine with 3 serpents in front of him and 3 behind him. At the entrance to the shrine is the number 14. Text: And there shall be made unto them an offering of a libation of one vase upon earth by Osiris. May his soul live and his body be preserved in the underworld. Text: May the gods who are in the following of Osiris grant that the body of Osiris shall rest along with his Sa. Vignette: A woman and a god, and the number 14. Text: And there shall be made unto them an offering of a libation of one vase upon earth by Osiris, by the side of the great god within his boat. Text: May Aha, that is, he who standeth, make Osiris to praise Ra when he riseth. Vignette: A god standing holding a scepter. Text: And there shall be made unto them an offering of a libation of one vase upon earth by Osiris, triumphant, who shall be with those who are over their altars. Text: May Amen, that is, the hidden one, give power unto Osiris in the hall of Seb. Vignette: A cow standing on a standard. Text: And there shall be made unto them an offering of a libation of one vase upon earth by Osiris, triumphant, who knoweth all the mysteries of the Tuat. Text: May Sheta, that is, the secret one, make the body of Osiris to grow and to be sound upon earth and in the underworld. Vignette: A god standing upright. Text: And there shall be made unto them an offering of a libation of one vase by Osiris, as the Lord of strides in the underworld and in Re style. Text: May Setek give cakes and ale to Osiris, along with you in the house of Osiris. Vignette: A god standing with a platform upon his head, whereon is a bull. Text: And there shall be made unto them an offering of a libation of one vase upon earth by Osiris, who hath entered into all the secret places of the Tuat. Text: May Sesheta Ausar, that is, he who maketh Osiris to be secret, grant that Osiris may be a lord of strides in the habitation of Teshet Sert. Vignette: A god standing with a platform upon his head, whereon is a bull. Text: And there shall be made unto them an offering of a libation of one vase upon earth, when he becometh the lord of an abode in the underworld. Text: May Sherem not allow any evil thing to come to Osiris in the underworld. Vignette: A god standing upright. Text: And there shall be made unto them an offering of a libation of one vase upon earth by Osiris, the soul that hearkeneth unto the words of the gods. Text: May Sta, that is, the leader, grant that Osiris may see Ra when he riseth and when he setteth. Vignette: A bull upon a standard. Text: And there shall be made unto them an offering of a libation of one vase upon earth by Osiris. May his limbs live and may his limbs be sound forever. Text: May Senk, that is, splendor, give glory to Osiris upon earth and make him strong in Amentet. Vignette: A god standing upright. Text: And there shall be made unto them an offering of a libation of one vase upon earth by Osiris. May his legs have power as the lord of an abode in Amentet. Text: May he who liveth in darkness, that is, Horus, grant that Osiris shall be among those who are over their altars. Vignette: A crocodile-headed god standing upright. Text: And there shall be made unto them an offering of a libation of one vase upon earth by Osiris, who is in the everlasting Tuat. Text: May the of Osiris grant that he shall be near the great god, the lord of Amentet. Vignette: A god standing upright, and the number 4. Text: And there shall be made unto them an offering of a libation of one vase upon earth by Osiris. May he become the lord of his hands, and have power over his heart in the underworld. Text: May those whose hands hide grant that Osiris shall be along with them in the underworld. Vignette: A god standing upright and hiding something with his hands. Text: And there shall be made unto them an offering of a libation of one vase upon earth by Osiris. May they bring me to the throne of Osiris. Text: May those whose hands hide grant that Osiris shall be sound, and that offering shall be before him continually. Vignette: As in number 13. Text: And there shall be made unto them an offering of a libation of one vase upon earth by Osiris, who shall be a lord of horns, and shall listen unto the words of the gods. Text: May he whose limbs are hidden give right and truth to Osiris before Ra, and in the company of his gods. Vignette: A god standing upright. Text: And there shall be made unto them an offering of a libation of one vase upon earth by Osiris, as lord of the phallus and ravisher of women forever. Text: May the souls who come forth open the mouth of Osiris among the gods who are along with them. Vignette: A bird on a tree, and the number 4. Text: And there shall be made unto them an offering of a libation of one vase upon earth by Osiris among the living ones, the lords of eternity. Text: May those who belong to their grant that Osiris may have power over his offerings upon earth, even as have the gods, the lords of offerings. Vignette: A god standing upright, and the number 4. Text: And there shall be made unto them an offering of a libation of one vase upon earth by Osiris, who shall be endowed abundantly with Tchefau food in the underworld. Text: May those who receive grant that Osiris shall enter in over all the secret places of the Tuat. Vignette: A god bowing to the ground in a star. Text: And there shall be made unto them an offering of a libation of one vase upon earth by Osiris, who shall have power over offerings upon earth, and be the lord of altars. Text: May the Ananit, that is, widows, grant that Osiris shall be with the great goddess possessor of a phallus before. Vignette: A woman kneeling on a couch. Text: And there shall be made unto them an offering of a libation of one vase upon earth by Osiris, who shall be ordered to dwell in the secret place in the darkness. Text: May Osiris Anubis grant that Osiris may be a possessor of a seat in Ta Tchesertet. Vignette: Anubis holding a hawk-headed scepter in each hand. Text: And there shall be made unto them an offering of a libation of one vase upon earth by Osiris, who shall go in and pass through the pylon of Osiris. Section 3. The gods of the 10th Qerut in the Tuat, who are to be praised and whose mysteries are holy. Text: May those who are denizens of light grant that Osiris shall shine in the darkness. Vignette: A god standing upright, and the number 8. Text: And there shall be made unto them an offering of a libation of one vase upon earth by Osiris, who praiseth the great god in his abode day by day. Text: May the smiters grant that Osiris may be among those who sing praises. Vignette: A god standing upright, holding in his upraised hand a hatchet dripping with blood. Text: And there shall be made unto them an offering of a libation of one vase upon earth by Osiris, on the day when he repulseth the serpent fiend Bai, the mighty one of iniquity. Text: May the company of the gods who guard those who are in the Tuat give the breaths of life to Osiris upon earth and in the underworld. Vignette: A god lying on a bier, and the number 9. Text: And there shall be made unto them an offering of a libation of one vase upon earth by Osiris, who shooteth forth his hand and repulseth him that cometh. Text: May the company of the gods of the hidden hand give glory unto Osiris as unto the perfect Khus. Vignette: A god standing upright, and the number 9. Text: And there shall be made unto them an offering of a libation of one vase upon earth by Osiris, who shall be sound upon earth and in the underworld. Text: May the hidden goddess grant that the soul of Osiris may grow, and that his body may be preserved, even as are those of the gods who dwell in the Tuat. Vignette: A woman standing before an Utchat. Text: And there shall be made unto them an offering of a libation of one vase upon earth by Osiris, whose soul shall rest upon whatever seat he pleaseth. Text: May the souls of the gods who have come into being in the members of Osiris grant that he shall have peace. Vignette: A woman lying upon her back, and the number 21. Text: And there shall be made unto them an offering of a libation of one vase upon earth by Osiris, who shall receive his place in the land of the underworld. Text: May those who praise Ra not turn Osiris back at the pylons of the Tuat. Vignette: A god standing upright, and the number 4. Text, and there shall be made unto them an offering of a libation of one vase upon earth by Osiris, who shall come forth by day and shall refresh himself in the place of coolness. Text, may the beings of warlike face grant coolness unto Osiris in the place of flame. Vignette: a woman standing upright, in the number 4. Text: and there shall be made unto them an offering of a libation of one vase upon earth by Osiris, who shall sit in the shrine with the great god. Section 4. The gods of the 11th Khereret of the Tuat. Text: may the goddess Amemet grant that Osiris shall be strong before the great god in the Tuat. Vignette: a woman in a shrine. Text: and there shall be made unto them an offering of a libation of one vase upon earth by Osiris, who shall become like the god Khepera in Amentet. Text: may the soul of Ament grant sepulchral meals unto Osiris upon earth and in the underworld. Vignette: a god standing upright. Text: and there shall be made unto them an offering of a libation of one vase upon earth by Osiris, the lord of the abode of peace, in the mountain of the underworld. Text: may the soul of the earth make Osiris to triumph over his enemies in heaven and upon earth. Vignette: a god standing upright with drooping hands, and the number 4. Text: and there shall be made unto them an offering of a libation of one vase upon earth by Osiris, whose body shall be concealed from any that would look upon him. Text: may those who sing praises grant that Osiris shall be like the divine mariners who are in heaven. Vignette: a man standing upright with his hands raised. Text: and there shall be made unto them an offering of a libation of one vase upon earth by Osiris, when he entereth through the hidden pylons. Text: may the company of the gods who rule over Ament grant that Osiris shall go in through the secret door of the house of Osiris. Vignette: a god lying upon a bier, and the number 9. Text: and there shall be made unto them an offering of a libation of one vase upon earth by Osiris, who shall walk with long strides among the lords of the Tuat. Text: may the company of the gods who are in the following of Osiris grant that Osiris shall have power over his enemies. Vignette: a god lying upon or by the side of a serpent on a bier. Text: and there shall be made unto them an offering of a libation of one vase upon earth by Osiris, when he becometh a perfect soul day by day. Text: may Ake grant that Osiris shall be with Ra, and that he shall walk over heaven for ever. Vignette: a god standing upright and holding a scepter. Text: and there shall be made unto them an offering of a libation of one vase upon earth by Osiris, when he is in the following of him that dwelleth in the city of embalmment, that is, Anubis, the lord of Ta Chesert. Text: may those who Osiris grant that the soul of Osiris may live, and that it may never die a second time. Vignette: a god standing upright, and the number 4. Text: and there shall be made unto them an offering of a libation of one vase upon earth by Osiris, for whom lamentation shall be decreed as for his god. Text: may the 9 watchers grant that Osiris may wake up, and that he may never be destroyed. Vignette: Anubis on a standard, and the number 9. Text: and there shall be made unto them an offering of a libation of one vase upon earth by Osiris, triumphant before Osiris, the lord of the land of the lake. Text: may the 9 mourners cause mourning to be made for Osiris, as was made for Osiris. Vignette: a woman lying on the ground, face downwards. Text: and there shall be made unto them an offering of a libation of one vase upon earth by Osiris, when his soul cometh forth with the Khu. Text: may he that invoketh Ra invoke Osiris before Ra, and before the company of his gods. Vignette: a god crying out to someone. Text: and there shall be made unto them an offering of a libation of one vase upon earth by Osiris, when his soul goeth into the hidden place and cometh forth from earth. Text: may Aken drive away every evil thing from Osiris forever. Vignette: a god standing upright with hands hanging down. Text: and there shall be made unto them an offering of a libation of one vase upon earth by Osiris, when he cometh in peace and hath triumphed. Text: may those who dwell with Tesser grant that Osiris may go in and come out with long strides like the lords of the Tuat. Vignette: a woman-headed serpent over a pylon. Text: and there shall be made unto them an offering of a libation of one vase upon earth by Osiris, who shall go in and come forth through the door of the Tuat. Text: may the goddess Tessert grant that Osiris may have power over the water. Vignette: a god standing upright, and the number 4. Text: and there shall be made unto them an offering of a libation of one vase upon earth by Osiris, when he shall walk up the great staircase. Text: may Mehenet grant that Osiris may be a distinguished being in the Tuat forever. Vignette: a serpent on a pylon. Text: and there shall be made unto them an offering of a libation of one vase upon earth by Osiris, as a perfect soul in his shrine. Text: may those who dwell with Mehenet grant that Osiris may walk with long strides in the holy place. Vignette: a woman standing upright, and the number 4. Text: And there shall be made unto them an offering of a libation of one vase upon earth by Osiris, when he is with the followers of Horus. Text: May the company of the gods who hide Osiris grant that Osiris shall sit upon the throne which he loveth. Vignette: A seated god. And the number 9. Text: And there shall be made unto them an offering of a libation of one vase upon earth by Osiris, who shall be among the lords of Maat. Text: May he that destroyeth the face open the face of Osiris, and let him see the Khu. Vignette: A god standing upright. Text: And there shall be made unto them an offering of a libation of one vase upon earth by Osiris, who shall be in the following of the goddess Mehi of Amentet. Section 4. The gods of the 12th Kereret in the Tuat. Text: May Maat grant that Osiris may be a lord of the lake of Maati. Vignette: A god standing upright and holding a scepter. Text: And there shall be made unto them an offering of a libation of one vase upon earth by Osiris, as a lord of offerings in Sekhet Aru. Text: May the gods who dwell in the land of the Tuat grant justice unto Osiris in the hall of double truth. Vignette: A god standing upright and holding a scepter. Text: And there shall be made unto them an offering of a libation of one vase upon earth by Osiris, who shall plow in Sekhet Hetep. Text: May the gods who dwell with Mehen grant that Osiris shall be in whatsoever places Ka wisheth to be. Vignette: A god within the folds of a serpent. Text: And there shall be made unto them an offering of a libation of one vase upon earth by Osiris, who shall come into being at the words of the Lord of Amentet. Text: May the gods who possess land grant a lake unto Osiris in Sekhet Anru. Vignette: A god standing upright, and the number 4. Text: And there shall be made unto them an offering of a libation of one vase upon earth by Osiris, who shall sit upon whatsoever place he would there. Text: May Her-ta grant an estate unto Osiris in Sekhet Hetep. Vignette: A snake-headed god. Text: And there shall be made unto them an offering of a libation of one vase upon earth by Osiris, who shall be protected by amulets like the lords of the Tuat. Text: May the gods who dwell in the land grant offerings and tchau food and joints of meat to Osiris in the underworld. Vignette: A god standing upright with arms hanging down, and the number 4. Text: And there shall be made unto them an offering of a libation of one vase upon earth by Osiris, when Ra setteth in Manu. Text: May the chiefs of the secret things who dwell in the land place their wall behind Osiris, even as they do for the Still Heart. Vignette: A ram-headed scepter. Text: And there shall be made unto them an offering of a libation of one vase upon earth by Osiris, when he cometh forth and goeth into the underworld. Text: May the gods who dwell in the folds of the serpent goddess Mehen grant a sight of the disk to Osiris. Vignette: A god within the folds of a serpent. Text: And there shall be made unto them an offering of a libation of one vase upon earth by Osiris, as a Khu who hath gained power over fresh water. Text: May Anu Ba grant peace unto Osiris in Amentet. Vignette: A god bowing. Text: And there shall be made unto them an offering of a libation of one vase upon earth by Osiris, and coming out and going into Ament, along with other folk therein. Chapter 169. Vignette: The chapter is without vignette. Text: The chapter of making to stand up the Henkit. The Am Kent, Osiris Nefer Uben F, triumphant, saith: Thou art the Lion God, thou art the double Lion God, thou art Horus, the avenger of his father Osiris. Thou art the 4 glorious gods. Acclamation is made unto thee along with cries of delight and sounds of joy, and the water from their haunches and from their thighs I bring unto thee. Thou art lifted up on thy right side, and thou art lifted up on thy left side. The god Seb hath opened for thee thy 2 eyes which were blind, and he hath given thee the power to stretch out thy legs in walking. Hath been bound unto thee thy heart Ab, thy mother, and thy heart Hat is in thy body. The soul is in heaven, and thy body is under the ground. There are cakes for thy body, and water for thy throat, and sweet breezes for thy nostrils, and thou art satisfied with offerings. Those who dwell in their shrines open their abodes unto thee. Thou hast thy provisions, and thou journeyest along. Thou art stablished upon that which emanateth from thy existence, and thou comest forth from heaven. The cord hath been coiled up for thee by the side of Ra, and thou snarest fish with the net in the stream from which thou drinkest vessels of water. Thou performest a journey on thy legs, and in going forward thou dost not stumble. Thou comest forth from over the earth, thou dost not make thy appearance from below the walls thereof. Thy walls are not thrown down, and what there is of thine within hath been made for thee by the god of thy city. Thou art pure, thou art pure. Thy fore parts are washed by libations, and thy hinder parts are cleansed with resin and natron, and made cool with incense. Thou art made clean with the milk of the Hap cow, and with the ale of the goddess Tenamit, and with natron. All the evil which clung to thee hath been done away with, and Tefnet, the daughter of Ra, hath made offerings on thy behalf, even as she did for her father Ra, and the funeral valley, which was the burial place of her father Osiris, hath been set in order for thee. I make to eat of the sweet things which he giveth there, the Osiris Nefer Uben F triumphant, that is to say, the celestial cakes which are before Ra, and the grain and drink, and the 4 terrestrial cakes which are before the god Seb, and the grain brought by the citizens. I have brought unto thee Sek Het Hetep, and the gifts thereof are before thee. Thou comest forth as Ra, thou hast gotten power as Ra, and thou hast gotten power over thy legs, and thou, O Osiris Nefer Uben F, hast gotten power over thy legs at every season and at every hour. Thou hast not been condemned in the judgment, thou hast not been put under restraint, a guard hath not been set over thee, thou hast not been imprisoned, and thou hast not been given over to the chamber of the fiends therein. The sand is gathered together before thy face, and guarded are the offerings which are for thee. Thy face is not suffered to be turned back, and thou art guarded, and dost not come forth. Thou hast received thy tunic, and thy sandals, and thy stick, and thy garment, and thy weapons for fighting of all kinds, wherewith thou shalt cut off heads. Thou shalt turn back the necks of thy foes, whom thou shalt take captive, and thou shalt keep away from thee death, so that it shall not come nigh unto thee. And the great God hath said concerning thee, bring him hither on the day when events take place. The hawk rejoiceth in thee, and the smen goose cackleth at thee. Ra openeth for thee the doors of heaven, and Seb unbolteth for thee the earth. Thy coup is mighty, and it is perfect, knowing thy name. Thy soul maketh a way through Ament, and thy perfect soul, O Nefer Uben F triumphant, hath the power of speech. Thy form is within Ra, and it resteth within the divine sovereign chiefs of him who uniteth the two paths. Mankind keepeth guard over it, and the double Lion God guideth it to the place where thou, O Osiris Nefer Uben F triumphant, makest thy ka to rest. And behold, the two lands and mankind work the snare for thee. Thou livest, thy soul is strong, thy body is enduring and great. Thou hast sight of the fire, thou dost snuff the breeze, thy face doth penetrate into the house of darkness. Thou abidest at the gap, thou dost not see the whirlwind and the storm. Thou followest in the train of the prince of the two lands, and thou refreshest thyself on the branch of merit tree on both sides of the god Hekau. The goddess Shetet sitteth before thee. The god Sa protecteth thy members. The steer and his cow give thee milk from the breast in the following of Sekhat Heru. Thou washest thyself at the mouth of the stream of Kher Abba. Thou art in favor with the princes of the cities of Pe and Tep. The god Thoth and thyself see each other, and Ra in heaven holdeth converse with thee. Thou comest forth from, and thou enterest into the Anat chamber, and thou holdest converse with the two divine combatants, that is, Horus and Set. Thy ka is with thee to make thee to rejoice. Thy heart is with thee to give thee thy transformations happy. Keep watch over thee. The company of the gods make thy heart glad. Thou comest forth to 4 cakes in the city of Sekhem, and 4 in the city of Akhnu. Thou comest forth to 4 in the city of Anu, upon the altar of the Lady of the Two Lands. The stars keep watch over thee by night. The lords of Anu have a favor unto thee. The god Hu is in thy mouth. Thy feet are not turned back, and thy members have life. Thou graspeth the sma in Abtu. The sacrificial cakes of the divine chiefs and the libations of the celestial beings are brought forward to thee with the offerings in the festival which are due to Osiris on the morning of the Uak festival for hidden things. Thou art ornamented with objects of gold, and thine apparel is interwoven with byssus. Hapi, that is the Nile, thrusteth himself upon thy body. Thou hast power over the tablet which is inscribed with lists of offerings, and thou drinkest water on both sides of the lake of Testes. The gods who are there have a favor unto thee, and thou comest forth from heaven along with the gods who make to advance the Ma'at of Ra, and thou art led into the presence of the company of the gods, and there is done for thee even as it is done for one of them. Thou art the cart bird of the geese, and the Ptah of the southern wall maketh an offering unto Nefer Uben F triumphant. Chapter 170. Vignette: the chapters without vignette. Text: the chapter of arranging the henket. The Osiris Nefer Uben F saith: Thy flesh have I given unto thee, thy bones have I fastened together for thee, thy members have I collected for thee, The earth submitteth itself unto thee. Thy limbs are guarded. Thou art the mighty one within the egg. Thou art set in order. Thou seest the gods. Thou settest out on thy way, and thy hand reacheth unto the horizon and unto the holy place where thou wouldst be. There is acclamation made unto thee, and there are shouts of joy raised to thee at thine appearances at the altar. Horus maketh thee to stand up at his risings, even as he did him who is in the chamber of holiness. Hail, Osiris, Nefer Uben F, triumphant! The goddess Uaa hath given thee birth, and Ampu, Anubis, who dwelleth upon his hill, hath set thee in order, and he hath fastened for thee thy swathings. Hail, Nefer Uben F, the god Ptah Sekri hath given unto thee of the ornaments of the divine house which he hath. Hail, Nefer Uben F, the god Thoth himself cometh unto thee with the books of holy words, and he maketh thy hand to reach unto the horizon, even unto the place wherein thy Ka loveth to be. And Osiris worketh for thee on the night of journeying unto life. Thy white crown is stablished on thy brow. The god Nemu is with thee, and he giveth unto thee fine feathered fowl. Hail, Osiris, Nefer Uben F, triumphant! Thou hast been set in order upon thy funeral couch. Thou comest forth, and Ra, who is in the hidden horizon within his boat, hath set thee in order. Hail, Osiris, Nefer Uben F, triumphant! The god Tem, the father of the gods, hath made for thee the things which are to endure for ever. Hail, Osiris, Nefer Uben F, triumphant! The god Amsu of Kebti hath set thee in order, and the gods of the shrine praise thee. Hail, Osiris, Nefer Uben F! With twofold happiness thou settest out in peace to thine everlasting habitation, and to thine abode of eternity. Homage is paid unto thee in the cities of Pe and Tepu, in the shrine which thy Ka loveth, and before thine abode. And thou art the mighty one of souls, and hast set thee in order, and the gods embrace thee. Thou art like a god, and thou hast been begotten for transformations which are more numerous, and with a created form more perfect than those of the gods. Thou hast more light than the Khus, and thou art more mighty of souls than are those who are in them. Hail, Osiris, Nefer Uben F! Ptah on his southern wall hath set thee in order, and he hath made to advance thine abode more than that of the gods. Hail, Osiris, the Am Kent, Nefer Uben F! Thou art Horus, the son of Isis, begotten of Ptah, and Nut hath created thee a being of light, like unto Ra in the horizon, when he illumineth the two lands with his beauteous light. And the gods say unto thee, Come forward, advance now, and look thou upon the things which are thine in thine abode of everlastingness. The goddess Renetet, the heir and firstborn of Tem, hath set thee in order in the presence of the company of the gods of Nut. I, even I, am the heir of heaven, and the fellow of the god who maketh his light. I have come forth from the womb, and I shall grow young again, even as doth my father, and I shall not be prevented from making my answer in my season. End of chapters 161 through 70. Chapters 171 through 180 of the Egyptian Book of the Dead by E. A. Wallis Budge. Chapter 171. Vignette. This chapter has no vignette. Text. The chapter of tying on the garment of purity. Ab. O Tem, O Shu, O Tefnut, O Seb, O Nut, O Osiris, O Isis, O Set, O Nephthys, O Heru Khuti, Harmachis, O Hathor in the great house, O Khepera, O Menthu, the lord of Thebes, O Amen, the lord of the thrones of the two lands, O great company of the gods, O little company of the gods, O gods and goddesses who dwell in Nu, O Sebek of the two mate, O Sebek, in all thy manifold names, in thine every place wherein thy Ka hath delight, O gods of the south, O gods of the north, O ye who are in heaven, O ye who are upon earth, grant ye this garment of purity to the perfect Khu of Amen-hetep. Grant ye your strength unto him, and destroy ye all the evil which belongeth unto Amen-hetep by means of this garment of purity. Hold ye him guiltless, then, for ever and ever, and destroy ye all the evil which belongeth unto him. Chapter 172. Vignette. This chapter has no vignette. Text. The first of the chapters of the arrangements or praisings which are to be performed in the underworld. I snuff the Bet incense, I inhale the scent of Hesmon, Natron, and incense. I am pure with the purity of. Pure are the praises which come forth from my mouth, more pure than Maat itself, of the fish that are in the river, to the statue of the temple of Hesmon, Natron. Pure are the praises of the scribe Nebseni, the designer of the house of gold, begotten of the scribe and designer Thena, triumphant, born of the lady of the house Mutresth, triumphant. And as for the scribe Nebseni, the lord of piety, who is happy with a twofold happiness, Ptah hath a favor unto him, and he of the southern wall hath a favor unto him, and every god hath a favor unto him, and every goddess hath a favor unto him. Thy beauties are a stream bearing things which cause rest, and are like unto water which floweth nearer. Thy beauties are like a hall of festival, wherein each man may exalt his own god. Thy beauties are like unto the pillar of the god Ptah, and like the courtyard of incense of Ra. Nebseni, the scribe and designer of the temple of Ptah, hath been made a pillar of Ptah, and the libation vase of the god of the southern wall. 1. Hail, verily thou art invoked. Hail, verily thou art invoked. Hail, verily thou art lamented. Verily thou art praised. Verily thou art exalted. Verily thou art glorious. Verily thou art strong. Hail, thou scribe Nebseni, thou who hast been raised up. Thou art raised up by means of the ceremonies which have been performed for thee. Thine enemies have fallen, and the god Ptah hath thrown down headlong thy foes. Thou hast triumphed over them, and thou hast gained power over them. They obey thy words, and they perform that which thou orderest them to do. Thou art raised up, and thy word is a law unto the divine sovereign chiefs of every god and of every goddess. 2. Hail, verily thou art invoked. Hail, verily thou art invoked. Thy head, O my lord, is a standard with locks of rippling hair like unto the hair of a woman of Asia. Thy face shineth more brightly than the house of the moon god. The upper part of thy head is azure in color. Thy locks are blacker than the doors of the underworld. Thy hair is dark as night. Thy visage is decorated with an azure blue. The rays of Ra are upon thy face. Thy garments are of gold, which Horus hath deftly ornamented with azure blue. Thine eyebrows are the two sister goddesses who are at peace with each other, and whom Horus hath deftly ornamented with azure blue. Thy nose snuffeth in, and thy nostrils exhale, as it were, the winds from heaven. Thine eyes look towards Mount Bakau of the rising sun. Thine eyelashes are fixed each day, and the upper eyelids to which they belong are of veritable lapis lazuli. The apples of thine eyes are as offerings of peace, and the lower eyelids are filled with eye paint of Meschem. Thy two lips give unto thee law. They repeat unto thee the law of Ra, and they make to be at peace the hearts of the gods. Thy teeth are the two heads of the serpent goddess Mehen, which sport with the Horus gods. Thy tongue is made skillful, thy speech is more shrill than that of the Tcheru bird of the field. Thy jawbones are starry lamps. Thy breasts are stablished upon their seats, and they journey unto the funeral mountain of Amentet. 3. Hail, verily thou art invoked. Hail, verily thou art invoked. Thy neck is decorated with gold, and it is girt about with refined copper. Thy gullet and throat are those of Anpu. Thy bones are the bones of the two Uatch goddesses. Thy backbone is studded with gold, and is girt about with refined copper. Thy loins are those of Nephthys. Thy is a Nile which is without water. Thy buttocks are two crystal eggs. Thy thighs are strong for walking. Thou sittest upon thy seat, and the gods give unto thee thine eyes, O scribe Nebseni, thou lord of piety. 4. Hail, verily thou art invoked. Hail, verily, thou art invoked. Thy throat is the throat of Anpu. Thy members are plated with gold. Thy breasts are two crystal eggs which Horus hath deftly ornamented with azure blue. Thy shoulders are made like unto crystal. Thine arms are established through the strength which protecteth them. Thy heart is glad each day. Thy breast is of the work of the two divine forms. Thy person adoreth the starry deities who dwell in the heights and depths of heaven. Thy belly is, as it were, the heavens. Thy navel is the Tuat, that is, underworld, which is open, and which ordereth the light in the darkness, and the offerings of which are Ankham flowers. And Nebseni praiseth the majesty of Thoth, the beloved one, saying, May his beauties be in my tomb, and may all the purity which he loveth be there, even as my God hath commanded for me. 5. Hail, verily thou art invoked. Hail, verily thou art invoked. Thy two hands are a pool of water in the season of an abundant inundation, a pool of water fringed about with the divine offering of the water god. Thy thighs are encircled with gold. Thy knees are the plants of the waters, where are the nests of the birds. Thy feet are stablished each day. Thy legs lead thee into a path of happiness, O scribe Nebseni, thou favored one. Thy hands and arms are pillars set upon their pedestals. Thy fingers are strips of gold, the nails of which are like sharp flakes of flint, by reason of the works which they perform for thee. 6. Hail, verily thou art invoked. Hail, verily thou art invoked. Thou clothest thyself with the garment of purity, Abu, and behold, thou drawest off from thyself the Umet garment when thou goest up to stretch thyself upon the couch. Haunches of meat are cut for thy ka, O scribe Nebseni, and a breast or heart of the animal is offered unto thy Sahu. Thou receivest a garment of the finest linen from the hands of the ministrant of Ra. Thou eatest the cakes upon the cloth which the goddess Tit herself hath prepared. Thou eatest the haunch of the animal. Thou takest boldly the joint which Ra hath endowed with power in his holy place. Thou washest thy feet in the silver basins which the god Seker, the artificer, hath wrought. And behold, thou eatest of the cake which appeareth on the altar, and which the two divine fathers have sanctified. Thou eatest of the baked bread and of the hot meats of the storehouse. Thou smellest the flowers. Thy heart feareth not to advance to the altar of the offerings made to thee, and those who feed thee with food make for thee the loaves and bread cakes of the souls of Annu, Heliopolis, and they themselves bear them unto thee. Thine offerings are ordered for thee, and thy ordinances are in the gates of the great house. Thou risest up like Sa, Orion. Thou arrivest like the star bow, and the goddess Nut stretcheth out her hands unto thee. Sa, Orion, the son of Ra, and Nut, who gave birth to the gods, the two mighty gods in heaven, speak each to the other, saying, Take the scribe and draftsman Nebseni into thine arms, and I will take him into mine on this day, and let us make happiness for him when praises are sung to him, and when mention is made of him, and when his name is in the mouth of all young men and maidens. Thou art raised up, O Nebseni, and thou hearest the songs of commemoration through the door of thy house. 7. Hail, verily thou art invoked. Hail, verily thou art invoked. Anubis hath bestowed upon thee thy winding sheet. He hath wrought for thee according to his will. He hath provided thee with the ornaments of his bandages, for he is the overseer of the great god. Thou settest out on thy way, and thou hast been washed in the lake of perfection. Thou makest offerings in the celestial mansions, and thou propitiatest the lords of Annu, Heliopolis. The water of Ra is presented unto thee in vessels, and milk in large vases. Thou art raised up, and thou makest offerings upon the altar. Thou washest thy feet upon the stone of, on the banks of the lake of God. Thou comest forth, and thou seest Ra upon the pillars which are the arms of heaven, upon the head of An-mut-f, and upon the arms of Ap-uat. He openeth out for thee a way, and thou seest the horizon wherein is the place of purity which thou lovest. 8. Hail, verily thou art invoked. Hail, verily thou art invoked. Offerings are allotted unto thee in the presence of Ra, and according to that which Horus and Thoth ordered for thee, thou hast had a beginning and an end. They invoke thee, O scribe Nebseni, and see thy splendor there, causing thee to come forth as a god, and to advance to the souls of Anu. Thou goest forth upon the great roads in thy Sa, who hast received the offerings of thy father upon thy two hands. Thou art furnished with linen garments each day at the beginning of the journey of the god through the gates of the great house. 9. Hail, verily thou art invoked. Hail, verily thou art invoked. The scribe Nebseni hath air for his nose, and breath for his nostrils, and 1,000 geese, and 50 baskets of pure and fair offerings. Hail, Nebseni, thine enemies have fallen down headlong, and they shall never more exist. Chapter 173. Vignette: Osiris, the great god, the lord of Abtu, the lord of transformations, the prince of eternity, seated in a shrine. The deceased stands with hands raised in adoration before the god, and the ground between them is covered with the bodies of birds and beasts which have been prepared for sacrifice. Text: The speeches of Horus to his divine father Osiris when he entereth in to see him, and when he cometh forth from near the great Abut chamber to look upon Ra, as Un Nefer, the lord of Ta Tchesert, when doth each embrace the other at the pleasure of his khu, there in the underworld. A hymn of praise to Osiris, governor of those in the underworld, the great god, the lord of Abydos, the king of eternity, the prince of everlastingness, the holy god in Re style, by the scribe Nebseni, who saith: I ascribe praise unto thee, O Lord of the gods, thou God One, who livest upon right and truth. Behold, I, thy son Horus, come unto thee. I have avenged thee, and I have brought to thee Maat, even to the place where is the company of thy gods. Grant thou that I may have my being among those who are in thy following, for I have overthrown all thy foes, and I have established all those who are of thy substance upon the earth for ever and ever. Here follow 40 declarations, each of which is preceded by the words: Hail, Osiris, I am thy son. I have come, and I have avenged thee, O my father Osiris. I have come, and I have overthrown for thee thine enemies. I have come, and I have done away with every evil thing which belongeth unto thee. I have come, and I have slain for thee him that attacked thee. I have come, and I have sent forth mine arm against those who were hostile towards thee. I have come, and I have brought unto thee the fiends of Set with their fetters upon them. I have come, and I have brought unto thee the land of the south, and I have united unto thee the land of the north. I have come, and I have established for thee divine offerings from the south and from the north. I have come, and I have plowed for thee the fields. I have come, and I have filled for thee the canals with water. I have come, and I have hoed up for thee the ground. I have come, and I have built cisterns for thee. I have come, and I have gone round about the soil for thee. I have come, and I have made sacrificial victims of those who were hostile to thee. I have come, and I have made sacrifices unto thee of thine animals, and victims for slaughter. I have come, and I have supplied thee with food in abundance of the creatures which are upon earth. I have come, and I have brought unto thee. I have come, and I have slain for thee. I have come, and I have smitten for thee emasculated beasts. I have come, and I have netted for thee birds and feathered fowl. I have come, and I have taken captive for thee thine enemies in their chains. I have come, and I have fettered for thee thine enemies with fetters. I have come, and I have brought for thee cool water from Abu Elephantine, wherewith thou mayest refresh thine heart. I have come, and I have brought unto thee herbs of every kind. I have come, and I have stablished for thee those who are of thy substance daily. I have come, and I have made thy cakes in the city of Pe of the red barley. I have come, and I have made thy ale in the city of Tepu of the white grain. I have come, and I have plowed for thee wheat and barley in Sekhet Awaru. I have come, and I have reaped it for thee therein. I have come, and I have glorified thee. I have come, and I have given to thee thy souls. I have come, and I have given to thee thy power. I have come, and I have given to thee thy. I have come, and I have given to thee thy. I have come, and I have given to thee thy terror. I have come, and I have given to thee thy victory. I have come, and I have given to thee thine eyes, which are the plumes on thy head. I have come, and I have given to thee Isis and Nephthys, that they may stablish thee. I have come, and I have filled for thee the eye of Horus with oil or unguent. I have come, and I have brought unto thee the eye of Horus, whereby thy face shall be destroyed. Chapter 174. Vignette: the deceased standing with her back towards a door from which she has just come forth. Text: the chapter of causing the khu to come forth from the great door. Mut hetepeth, triumphant, saith: Thy son hath offered up for thee a sacrifice, and the divine mighty ones tremble when they look upon the slaughtering knife which is in thy hand when thou comest forth from the Tuat. Homage to thee, O god Sa'ah. The god Seb hath created thee, and the company of the gods have given birth unto thee. Horus resteth upon his eye, and the god Tem resteth upon his years, and the gods of the East and of the West rest upon the mighty one who hath come into existence within thy hand. A god hath been born now that I have been born. I see, and I have sight. I have my existence. I am lifted up upon my place. I have done what hath been decreed. I hate slumber. I have endowed with might the feeble one. He that dwelleth in the city of Netet hath made cakes for me in the city of Pe, and I have received my form in Annu, for it is Horus who hath commanded what shall be done for his father, the Lord of Winds, and the god Set quaketh. He hath raised me up, and Tem hath raised me up. O, I am the mighty one, and I have come forth from between the thighs of the company of the gods. I have been conceived by Sekhet and by Shes Kentet, and I have been brought forth at the door of the star Sept, Sothis, the foremost, one who with long strides bringeth along the celestial path of Ra day by day. I have come to my habitation as prince of the north and south, and I rise, or I am crowned, in the gate. Hail, thou of the double plumes who art called by the name of my Shepes. I am the lotus which shineth in the land of purity, and which hath received me, and which maketh my abode at the nostrils of the great form. I have come into the lake of flame, and I have placed right and truth in the place of sin. I am the watcher of the Sesheru garments, and the watcher of the Uraeus on the night of the flood of the Great One. I rise like Nefertim, who is the lotus at the nostrils of Ra, when he cometh forth from the horizon each day, and the gods are purified at the sight of the lady of the house, Mut hetepeth, who is triumphant before the cause, and who gathereth together hearts for Se'aur, whom the god Se'amenti Ra holdeth. I have come upon my seat before the cause, and I have gathered together hearts for Se'aurt, and I have my being as Se'ah, whom Ra the god of Amenti holdeth, and the Tchech implement is with me. I recite the mighty words which are in the heart on the festival of the Ansi garment, and I am Sa-Amenti Ra, the strong of heart within the hidden chamber of Nu. Chapter 175. Vignette: the deceased and his wife standing with hands raised in adoration before the god Thoth, who is seated upon a pylon-shaped throne and has the emblem of life upon his knees. Text: the chapter of not dying a second time. Osiris, the scribe Ani, triumphant, saith: Hail, Thoth! What is it that hath happened unto the divine children of Nut? They have done battle, they have upheld strife, they have done evil, they have created the fiends, they have made slaughter, they have caused trouble. In truth, in all their doings, the mighty have worked against the weak. Grant, O might of Thoth, that that which the god Tem hath decreed may be done, and thou regardest not evil, nor art thou provoked to anger when they bring their years to confusion, and throng in and push to disturb their months. For in all that they have done unto thee they have worked iniquity in secret. I am thy writing pallet, O Thoth, and I have brought unto thee thine ink jar. I am not of those who work iniquity in their secret places. Let not evil happen unto me. Saith Osiris, the scribe Ani, "Hail, Temu! What manner of land is this into which I have come? It hath not water, it hath not air, it is depth unfathomable, it is black as the blackest night, and men wander helplessly therein. In it a man may not live in quietness of heart, nor may the longings of love be satisfied therein. But let the state of the Shining Ones be given unto me instead of water and air, and the satisfying of the longings of love, and let quietness of heart be given unto me instead of cakes and ale. The god Tem hath decreed that I shall see thy face, and that I shall not suffer from the things which pain me. May every god transmit unto thee his throne for millions of years. Thy throne hath descended unto thy son Horus, and the god Tem hath decreed that his course shall be among the holy princes. In truth he shall rule over thy throne, and he shall be heir of the throne of the dweller in the lake of double fire. In truth it hath been decreed that in me he shall see his likeness, and that my face shall look upon the face of the Lord Tem. How long then have I to live? It is decreed that thou shalt live for millions of years, a life of millions of years. May it be granted unto me that I pass on unto the holy princes, for indeed I am doing away with all the wrong which I did, from the time when this earth came into being from Nu, when it sprang from the watery abyss, even as it was in the days of old. I am Fate or Time, and Osiris and I have made my transformations into the likeness of divers serpents. Man knoweth not, and the gods cannot behold the twofold beauty which I have made for Osiris, who is greater than all the gods. I have given unto him the region of the dead, and verily his son Horus is seated upon the throne of the dweller in the lake of double fire as his heir. I have made him to have his throne in the boat of millions of years. Horus is stablished upon his throne among his friends and all that belonged unto him. Verily the soul of Set, which is greater than all the gods, hath departed. May it be granted that I bind his soul in the divine boat at my will, and that he may have fear of the divine body. O my father Osiris, thou hast done for me that which thy father Ra did for thee. May I abide upon the earth lastingly, may I keep possession of my throne, may my heir be strong, may my tomb and my friends who are upon earth flourish, may my enemies be given over to destruction and to the shackles of the goddess Serk. I am thy son, and Ra is my father. For me likewise thou hast made life, strength, and health. Horus is established upon his throne. Grant thou that the days of my life may come unto worship and honor. Chapter 176. Vignette. This chapter is without vignette. Text: the chapter of not dying a second time. The Osiris Nu, the overseer of the palace, the chancellor in chief, triumphant, saith: That which I abominate is the land of the East. Let me not enter into the torture chamber. Let there not be done unto me any of those things which the gods hold in abomination. For behold, I have passed as a pure being through the Mesket chamber. And let the god Neb er tcher grant unto me his glorious power on the day of burial in the presence of the Lord of things. Rubric: if the deceased know this chapter, he shall become like a perfect khu in the underworld. Chapter 177. Vignette: the deceased standing upright, pure water is being poured out before him, and offerings of linen garments are being made unto him. Text: the chapter of raising up the khu, and of making the soul to live in the underworld. The scribe Nebseni, the draughtsman in the temple of Ptah, the lord of piety, who is in the favor of his gods, saith: Hail, Nut! Nut, who casteth thy father to earth, and settest Horus behind him. His wings grow like those of a hawk, and his plumes like those of him who seeth. His soul hath been brought unto him. He is filled with words of magical power, and his place is decreed for him opposite to the stars of the heaven. For behold, thou art a star of Nut by thyself. Thou seest the scribe Nebseni, the lord of piety, in happiness, and giving his commands unto the Khus, and behold, the divine power, or prince, is not among them, and thy is not among them, unless thou art among them. Thou seest the chief Nebseni, the scribe and draughtsman of the temple of Ptah, in the form of a soul who hath the horns of the cows Semamet and An Unser the black. Hail, children of Sarah Beqet, who have sucked milk from the 4 Uipu cows. Horus of the blue eyes cometh unto you. Protect ye Horus of the red eyes, who is sick. Let not his soul be turned back. Let his offerings be brought unto him. Let the things which are for his benefit be carried to him, and let them come upon the shoulder over the west. This only one advanceth to thee. The god speaketh thy words. The gods make thy name to be triumphant before the gods, and the company of the gods distinguish thee with their hands. The god of the field of the gods speaketh, and thou gainest the power over the door of Kas in their horizon. They unbolt for thee their doors, for they have a favor unto thee, and thou gainest power over their shrines. The god Seb and his company of gods enter in, and they come forth, lifting on high their faces, and they look upon thee in the presence of the great god Amsu. Thy head, I make to stand up thy head for thee, and thou hast power thereover. His head diminisheth behind thee, but thy head shall not diminish, and thou shalt not be destroyed, and thou shalt do what thou hast to do before men and before the gods. Chapter 178. Vignette: This chapter has no vignette. Text: the chapter of raising up the dead body, of giving sight to the eyes, of gaining power over the ears, of stablishing the head, and of providing the face with the power of protection. The Osiris, the scribe Nebseni, the draughtsman of the Temple of Ptah, the lord of piety, saith: "The Eye of Horus is presented unto thee, and it feedeth thee with the food of offerings. Hail, ye who make the labourers to rejoice, and who raise up the heart and purify the body, who have eaten the Eye of Horus, thou olive tree in Annu, destroy ye what evil there is in the body of Osiris Nebseni, the scribe and draughtsman in the Temple of Ptah. O Osiris, let him not suffer thirst before his god, let him suffer neither hunger nor thirst, and let the god Kas carry them away, and let him do away with his hunger, O thou that fillest, O thou that fillest hearts. O chiefs who dispense cakes and ale, O ye who have charge of the water flood, command ye that cakes and ale be given unto the Osiris Nebseni, even as Ra himself commanded this thing. And moreover, Ra hath commanded those who are over the abundance of the year to take handfuls of wheat and barley, and to give them to him for his cakes, for behold, he is a great bull. These shall he give to the Osiris Nebseni. O guardian of the 5 cakes in the divine house, 3 cakes are in heaven before Ra, and 2 are upon earth before the company of the gods. May he burst through Nu, may he see, may he see. O Ra, be gracious unto the scribe Nebseni this day, be gracious. The scribe Nebseni is as a lord of piety, according to the command of Shu and Isis, and he hath been united unto the piety of happiness before his god. May the gods give cakes and ale unto the scribe Nebseni, and may they prepare for him all good and pure things this happy day, things for journeying and travelling, things of the Eye of Horus, things of the boat, and all things which should enter into the sight of the god. Thou shalt have power over the water, and thou shalt advance to the table of offerings, having cakes, and 4 measures of water. The Eye of Horus hath ordered these things for the scribe Nebseni, and the god Shu hath ordered the means of subsistence for him, both cakes and ale. Watch, O judges of the form of Thoth, watch him that lieth in death. Wake up, O thou that dwellest in Kenset. Grant thou offerings in the presence of Thoth, the mighty god, who cometh forth from Hapi, that is, the Nile, and of Apuat, who cometh forth from Asert, for the mouth of Nebseni, the scribe and designer of the Temple of Ptah, is pure. The company of the gods offer incense to the scribe Nebseni, and his mouth is pure, and his tongue which is therein is right and true. That which the scribe Nebseni abominateth is filth, and he hath freed himself therefrom, even as Set freed himself from it in the city of Rehu, and he has set out with Thoth for heaven. O ye who have delivered the scribe Nebseni along with yourselves, let him eat of that whereof ye eat. Let him drink of that whereof ye drink. Let him sit down upon that whereon ye sit. Let him be strong in the strength wherein ye are strong. Let him sail about where ye sail about. The scribe Nebseni hath drawn the net together in the region of Aaru, and he hath running water in Sekhet Hetep, and his offerings are among those of the gods. The water of the scribe Nebseni is the wine of Ra, and Nebseni goeth round about heaven, and travelleth therein like unto Thoth. It is an abomination unto the scribe Nebseni to suffer hunger and not to eat, and it is an abomination unto him to be thirsty and not to drink. But sepulchral meals have been given unto him by the Lord of eternity, who hath ordered these things for him. The scribe Nebseni was conceived in the night and was brought forth in the daylight, and those who are in the following of Ra, the divine ancestors, adore him. The scribe Nebseni was conceived in Nu and was brought forth in Nu, and he hath come and hath brought to you what he hath found of that which the eye of Horus hath shed upon the branches of the Ven tree. The governor of those in Amenti cometh to him, and bringeth to him the divine food and offerings of Horus, the governor of temples, and upon that whereon he doth live, the scribe Nebseni liveth also. And of that whereof he drinketh doth the scribe Nebseni, the designer of the temple of Ptah, drink also, and facing his offerings of cakes and ale is a haunch of meat also. Osiris the scribe Nebseni is triumphant, and he is favoured of Anubis, who is upon his hill. Hail, scribe Nebseni, thou hast the form wherein thou hadst thine existence upon earth, and thou livest and renewest thy youth each day. Thy face is uncovered, and thou seest the Lord of the horizon, who giveth to thee sepulchral meals in thy hour and in thy season of night. Horus hath avenged thee, and he hath destroyed the jawbones of thine enemies. He hath shut in the doer of violence at the mouth of his fortress. Hail, scribe Nebseni, thou hast no enemies in Hetur, and the scales balanced when thou wert weighed therein, and the hall wherein they were belonged to Osiris, the lord of offerings of Amentet. And thou shalt enter in at will, and thou shalt see the great God in his form, and life shall be given to thy nostrils, and thou shalt triumph over thine enemies. Hail, scribe Nebseni, what thou abominatest is iniquity. The divine Lord of creation hath made peace with thee on the night of silencing the weeping, and sweet life, whereupon Thoth resteth, hath been given unto thee from the mouth of the company of the gods, and thou dost triumph over thine enemies, O scribe Nebseni. Thy mother Nut spreadeth herself over thee in her name of Shetet Pet, and she maketh thee to be a follower of the great God, and to be without enemies, and she delivereth thee from every evil thing in her name of Khenemet Urt, the divine mighty form, who dwelleth among her children, O scribe Nebseni. Hail, chiefs of the hours, ancestors of Ra, make ye a way for the scribe Nebseni, the lord of piety, and let him pass within the circle of Osiris, the lord of the life of the two lands, who liveth for ever. And let the scribe Nebseni, the draftsman in the temple of Ptah, the lord of piety, the happy one, be in the following of Nefertem, the lotus at the nostrils of Ra, in the presence of the gods, and let him see Ra for ever. Chapter 179. Vignette. This chapter has no vignette. Text: the chapter of advancing from yesterday and of coming forth by day, whereby he and his members shall be provided with food. The overseer of the palace, the chancellor in chief, Nu, triumphant, the son of the overseer of the palace, Amenhetep, triumphant, saith: Let my speech of yesterday be given unto me. I come daily. I have come forth from the God of creation. I am Sepes, coming forth from his tree, and I am Nun, coming forth from his might. I am the lord of the Ureret crown, and the god Neheb kau. I am Tesher, who avengeth his eye. I died yesterday, but I come today. The mighty lady, who is the guardian of the door, hath made a way for me. I come forth by day against mine enemy, and I have gained the mastery over him. He hath been given over unto me, and he shall not be delivered out of my hand. And he shall come to an end before me in the presence of the great divine sovereign chiefs who are in the underworld. The first great rank hath been given unto me by him, along with the shade and form of the living gods, and I have made my path. Mine enemy hath been brought unto me, and he hath been given unto me, and he shall not be delivered out of my hand. The things which concern me have been ended in the presence of the divine sovereign chiefs of Osiris, who is clothed in his apparel. And behold, the governor of those in Amenti. I am the lord of redness on the day of transformations. I am the lord of knives, and injury shall not be done unto me. I have made my path. I am the scribe who writeth down the odorous things which are in the sweet-smelling incense, and the things which belong to the mighty ruddy one have been brought to me. And the mighty ruddy one hath been given to me. I have come forth by day against my enemy. I have brought him along. I have gained the power over him. He hath been given unto me, and he shall not be delivered out of my hand. He hath come to an end beneath me in the presence of the divine sovereign chiefs, and I eat him in the great field on the altar of Urachit. I have gained the mastery over him as Sekhet, the great lady. I am the lord of transformations, for I have the transformations of every god, and they go round about in me. Chapter 180. Vignette: the deceased kneeling in supplication before three gods. Text: the chapter of coming forth by day, of praising Ra and Amentet, of ascribing praise unto those who dwell in the Tuat, of opening up a path for the perfect Khu in the underworld, of causing him to walk, of making long his footsteps, of going in and coming forth from the underworld, and of performing transformations like a living soul. The Osiris triumphant saith: Ra setteth as Osiris with all the diadems of the divine Khus and of the gods of Amentet. He is the one divine form, the hidden one of the Tuat, the holy soul at the head of Amentet, Un Nefer, whose duration of life is for ever and for ever. Words of praise are addressed to thee, O Osiris, in the Tuat, and thy son Horus hath satisfaction in thee, and he hath spoken unto thee the decree of words. Thou makest him to rise upon those who dwell in the Tuat like a mighty divine star, unto whom the things which are his have been brought in the Tuat. Thou travellest through it, O son of Ra, and comest forth like Tem. Words of praise are addressed unto thee by those who dwell in the Tuat, which is the throne chamber, dear to thy majesty, the king, the prince of Akert, the mighty ruler, who is crowned with the Ureret crown, the great God whose seat is hidden, the Lord and weigher of words, and the sovereign of his divine chiefs. And words of praise are addressed unto thee by those who dwell in the Tuat, and they have satisfaction in thee. And words of praise are addressed unto thee by those who dwell in the Tuat, and the divine beings who weep pluck out their hair for thee, and they smite their hands together, and they praise thee, and they cry out before thee, and they weep for thee, and they rejoice that thy soul hath glorified thy dead body. The souls of Ra and Amentet are exalted, and in the zone of the Tuat the souls cry out in their songs of exaltation unto the souls of Ra, who dwelleth therein. The body and souls of the god Techench dwell in the Tuat, and his divine soul resteth therein. Hail, Osiris, I am a servant of thy temple, and one who dwelleth there within thy divine house, and thou utterest with command the words of the decree. Grant thou that I may rise like a luminary among the denizens of the Tuat, and like a mighty star unto whom in the Tuat the things which are his have been brought. Let me journey through it like the son of Ra, and let me come forth as Tem. Let me have rest in the Tuat. Let me gain the mastery over the darkness. Let me enter therein. Let me come forth therefrom. Let thy hands receive me, O Ta Teunen, and let the Hetepu gods lift me up. O stretch ye out your hands to me, for I, even I, know your names. Lead ye me along, praise ye me, O Hetepu gods, with your praises, for Ra rejoiceth over the praises which are offered unto me, even as he doth over those which are offered unto Osiris. I have stablished for you your offerings, and ye have obtained the mastery over your oblations, even as Ra hath commanded me to do. I am the god Mehu, and I am his heir upon the earth, and I have made my path. O ye Hetepu gods, grant ye that I may enter into the Tuat, and let me make a way into the beautiful Amentet. I have stablished the scepter of the god Sa, and the Nemi's crown for the god whose name is hidden. Look ye then, O Hetepu gods, and ye gods who are the guides of the Tuat, and grant that I may receive my glorious might, and let me rise like a luminary above his hidden place, and deliver ye me from the deadly stakes of those who are chained thereunto. Chain ye me not unto your deadly stakes, and give ye me not over to the habitation of the fiends who slay. I am the heir of Osiris, and I received his Nemi's crown in the Tuat. Look ye upon me, then, and let me rise like a luminary who hath come forth from your members, and let me come into being like my divine Father who is worshipped. Look ye upon me, then, and rejoice ye in me, and grant that I may rise up, and that I may come into being like him whose transformations were destroyed. Open ye a way unto my divine soul, O ye who stand upon your places. Grant ye that I may rest in the beautiful Amentet, and decree ye for me a seat in front of you. Open out ye to me your paths, and draw back for me the bolts of your doors. Behold, O Ra, as thou art the guide of this earth, so let the divine souls be my guides, and let me follow after the gods. I am he who guardeth his own pylon, and I am led along by those who lead. I am he who keepeth ward over his doors, and who setteth the gods in their places. I am he who dwelleth upon his standard within the Tuat. I am the god Henbi, the guardian of the lands of the gods. I am the boundaries of the Tuat. I am the god Hetepi in Aukert. My offerings have been made in Amentet by the divine souls who dwell in the gods. I am the god Meha-a-nuti Ra. I am the hidden Bennu bird. I enter in as he resteth in the Tuat, and I come forth as he resteth in the Tuat. I am the lord of the celestial abodes, and I journey through the night sky after Ra. My offerings are in heaven in the field of Ra, and my sepulchral meals are on earth in the field of Eru. I travel through the Tuat like the beings who are with Ra, and I weigh words like the god Thoth. I stretch myself at my desire. I run forward with my strides in my spiritual form of hidden qualities, and my transformations are those of the double god Horus Set. I am the president of the food of the gods of the Tuat, and I give the sepulchral offerings of the Khus. I am the god of the mighty heart, who smiteth his enemies. Hail, ye gods and Khus, the ancestors of Ra, who follow after the divine soul which he hath. Lead ye me along as ye lead him along, and do ye who are the guides of Ra, and who are leaders, dwelling in the upper heaven, guide me, for I am like unto the divine and holy soul who is in Amentet. End of chapters 171 through 180. Chapters 181 through 190 of the Egyptian Book of the Dead by E. A. Wallis Budge. Chapter 181. Vignette: the deceased kneeling in adoration before three gods who are seated before a door. Behind are a lion-headed and a vulture-headed god, each of whom has a serpent above his head. Text: the chapter of entering in to the divine sovereign chiefs of Osiris, and to the gods who are guides in the Tuat, and to those who keep ward over their gates, and to those who are heralds of their halls, and to those who are the porters of the doors and pylons of Amentet, and of making the transformations like a living soul, and of praising Osiris, and of becoming the prince of the divine sovereign chiefs. The Osiris Kena, triumphant, saith: Homage to thee, O governor of Amentet, Un Nefer, lord of Ta Chetsert, O thou who art diademed like Ra. Verily I come to see thee and to rejoice at thy beauties. His disk is thy disk, his rays of light are thy rays of light, his ureret crown is thy ureret crown, his majesty is thy majesty, his risings are thy risings, his beauties are thy beauties. The terror which he inspireth is the terror which thou inspirest. His odor is thy odor, his hall is thy hall, his seat is thy seat, his throne is thy throne, his air is thy air, his ornaments are thy ornaments, his decree is thy decree, his hidden place is thy hidden place, his things are thy things, his knowledge or powers is thy knowledge, the attributes of greatness which are his are thine, the power which protecteth him protecteth thee. He dieth not, and thou diest not. He is not triumphed over by his enemies, and thou art not triumphed over by thine enemies. No evil thing whatsoever hath happened unto him, and no evil thing whatsoever shall happen unto thee for ever and for ever. Homage to thee, O Osiris, son of Nut, lord of the two horns, whose Atef crown is exalted. May the Ureret crown be given unto him, along with sovereignty before the company of the gods. May the god Temu make terror of him to exist in the hearts of men and women, and gods and Khus and the dead. May dominion be given unto him in Annu (Heliopolis). May he be mighty of transformations in Tatu (Mendes). May he be the lord greatly feared in the Aati. May he be mighty in victory in Re stau. May he be the lord who is remembered with gladness in the great house. May he have manifold risings like a luminary in Abtu (Abydos). May triumph be given unto him in the presence of the company of the gods. May he gain the victory over the mighty powers. May the fear of him be made to go throughout the earth, and may the princes stand up upon their stations before the sovereign of the gods of the Tuat, the mighty form of heaven, the prince of the living ones, the king of those who are therein, and the glorifier of thousands in Kher-aba. The denizens of heaven rejoice in him who is the Lord of the chosen offerings in the mansions above. A meat offering is made unto him in the city Het Ka Ptah Memphis, and the things of the night are prepared for him in Sekhem Letopolis. Behold, O mighty God, thou great one of twofold strength, thy son Horus avengeth thee. He doeth away with every evil thing whatsoever that belongeth to thee. He bindeth up in order for thee thy person. He gathereth together for thee thy members. He collecteth for thee thy bones. He bringeth to thee thy. Thou art raised up then, O Osiris. I have given unto thee thy hand, and make thee to stand up alive for ever and ever. The god Seb directeth thy mouth. The great company of the gods protecteth thee, and they accompany thee unto the door of the gate of the Tuat. Thy mother Nut placeth her hands behind thee. She giveth thee strength, and she reneweth the power which protecteth thee. Birds, thy two sisters Isis and Nephthys, come unto thee, and they unite thee unto life and strength and health, and thy heart rejoiceth before them. They in thee through love of thee, and they load thy hands for thee with things of all kinds. All the gods present unto thee provisions, and behold, they praise thee for ever. Happy art thou, O Osiris, for thou art crowned, and art endowed with strength, and art glorious, and thine attributes are established for thee. Thy face is like that of Anpu. Ra rejoiceth in thee, and he maketh himself to be a brother to thy beautiful person. Thou sittest upon thy throne. The god Seb maketh the libation for thee, and that which thou wishest to receive is in thy hands in Amentet. Thou sailest over the celestial regions each day. Thy mother Nut maketh thee to go forth on thy way, and thou settest in life in Amentet in the boat of Ra each day, along with Horus who loveth thee. The protecting strength of Ra guardeth thee. The words of might of Thoth are behind thee, and Isis maketh strength to follow after thy person. I have come to thee, O Lord of Ta Chesert, Osiris, governor of those who are in Amentet, Un Nefer, whose twofold existence is for ever and for ever. My heart is right and true, my hands are pure. I have brought things unto their divine Lord, and offerings unto the God who made them. I have come, and I have advanced to your cities. I have done that which was good upon earth. I have slain thine enemies for thee like sacrificial oxen. I have slaughtered for thee thy adversaries. I have made them to fall down upon their faces before thee. I am pure, even as thou art pure. I have made pure for thee thy festival, and I have upon thine altar to thy soul, and to thy form, and to the gods, and to the goddesses who are in thy train. Rubric: if this chapter be known by the deceased, things of evil shall not gain the mastery over him, and he shall not be turned back from any of the doors of Amentet, but he shall go in and come out, and cakes and ale and all beautiful things shall be given unto him in the presence of those who dwell in the Tuat. Chapter 182. Vignette: the deceased lying upon a bier within a funeral chest or coffer. Beneath the bier are three bases. At the foot stand Isis, Hapi, and Tuamartef, and at the head Nephthys, Mesha, and Qebhsennuf. In the upper and lower registers are a number of seated and standing man-headed and animal-headed deities, who hold in their hands snakes, lizards, and knives. Text: the book of stablishing Osiris firmly, of giving air to the still heart, whilst Thoth repulseth the foes of Osiris, who cometh there in his transformations, and is protected and made strong and guarded in the underworld by the operation of the will of Thoth himself, and Shu setteth upon him each day. Thoth saith: I am Thoth, the perfect scribe, whose hands are pure, the lord of the two horns, who maketh iniquity to be destroyed, the scribe of right and truth, who abominateth sin. Behold, he is the writing reed of the god Neb er tcher, the Lord of laws, who giveth forth the speech of wisdom and understanding, whose words have dominion over the two lands. I am Thoth, the lord of right and truth, who trieth the right and truth for the gods, the judge of words in their essence, whose words triumph over violence. I have scattered the darkness, I have driven away the whirlwind and the storm. I have given the pleasant breeze of the north wind unto Osiris Un Nefer, as he came forth from the womb of her who gave him birth. I have made Ra to set as Osiris, and Osiris setteth as Ra setteth. I have made him to enter into the hidden habitation, to vivify the heart of the still heart, the holy soul, who dwelleth in Amentet, and to shout cries of joy unto the still heart, Un Nefer, the son of Nut. I am Thoth, the favoured one of Ra, the lord of might, who bringeth to a prosperous end that which he doeth, the mighty one of enchantments, who is in the boat of millions of years, the lord of laws, the subduer of the two lands, whose words of might gave strength to her that gave him birth, whose word doeth away with opposition and fighting, and who performeth the will of Ra in his shrine. I am Thoth, who made Osiris to triumph over his enemies. I am Thoth, who issueth the decree at dawn, whose sight followeth on again after his overthrow at his season, the guide of heaven and earth and the underworld, and the creator of the life of all nations and peoples. I gave air unto him that was in the hidden place, by means of the might of the magical words of my utterance, and Osiris triumpheth over his enemies. I came unto thee, O Lord of Ta Cheser, Osiris, bull of Ament, and thou wert strengthened for ever. I set everlastingness as a protection for thy members, and I came unto thee having protection in my hand, and I guarded thee with strength during the course of each and every day. Protection and life were behind this god, protection and life were behind this god, and his ka was glorified with power. The king of the Tuat, the prince of Amentet, the victorious conqueror of heaven, hath the Atef crown firmly stablished upon him. He is diademed with the white crown, and he graspeth the crook and the whip. Unto him, the great one of souls, the mighty one of the Ureret crown, every god gathereth together, and love for him who is Un Nefer, and whose existence is for everlasting, and all eternity, goeth through their bodies. Homage to thee, O governor of those who are in Amenti, who makest mortals to be born again, who renewest thy youth, thou comest, who dwellest in thy season, and who art more beautiful than thy son Horus hath avenged thee. The rank or dignity of Tem hath been conferred upon thee, O Un Nefer. Thou art raised up, O bull of Amentet. Thou art stablished, yea, stablished in the body of Nut, who uniteth herself unto thee, and who cometh forth with thee. Thy heart is stablished upon that which supporteth it, and thy breast is as it was formerly. Thy nose is firmly fixed with life and power. Thou livest, and thou art renewed, and thou makest thyself young like Ra each and every day. Mighty, mighty is Osiris in victory, and he is firmly stablished with life. I am Thoth, and I have pacified Horus, and I have quieted the two divine combatants in their season of storm. I have come, and I have washed the ruddy one, I have quieted the stormy one, and I have filled him with all manner of evil things. I am Thoth, and I have made the things of the night in Sekhem Letopolis. I am Thoth, and I have come daily into the cities of Pe and Tepu. I have led along the offerings and oblations. I have given cakes with lavish hand to the Khus. I have protected the shoulder of Osiris. I have embalmed him. I have made sweet his odor, even as is that of the beautiful god. I am Thoth, and I have come each day into the city of Kher Aba. I have tied the cordage, and I have set in good order the Makhent boat, and I have brought it from the east to the west. I am more exalted upon my standard than any god in my name of he whose face is exalted. I have opened fair things in my name of Apuat, that is, opener of the road, and I have ascribed praise and done homage unto Osiris Un Nefer, whose existence is for ever and for ever. Chapter 183. Vignette: the deceased and his wife standing with hands raised in adoration. Thoth, ibis headed, standing upright and presenting symbols of strength and life. Text: Osiris Hu Nefer, The overseer of the palace of the lord of the two lands, triumphant, praiseth Osiris, and acclaimeth him, and doeth homage unto Un Nefer, and boweth to the ground before the lord of Ta Chesert, and exalteth those who are upon his sand, saying, "I have come unto thee, O son of Nut, Osiris, prince of everlastingness. I am in the following of the god Thoth, and I have rejoiced at everything which he hath done for thee. He hath brought unto thee sweet air for thy nose, and life and strength to thy beautiful face, and the north wind which cometh forth from Tem for thy nostrils, O lord of Ta Chesert. He hath made the god Shu to shine upon thy body. He hath illumined thy path with rays of splendor. He hath destroyed for thee all the evil defects which belong to thy members by the magical power of the words of his utterance. He hath made the two Horus brethren to be at peace for thee. He hath destroyed the storm wind and the hurricane. He hath made the two combatants to be gracious unto thee, and the two lands to be at peace before thee. He hath put away the wrath which was in their hearts, and each hath become reconciled unto his brother. Thy son Horus is triumphant in the presence of the whole company of the gods. The sovereignty over the world hath been given unto him, and his dominion is in the uttermost parts of the earth. The throne of the god Seb hath been adjudged unto him, along with the rank which hath been founded by the god Temu, and which hath been stablished by decrees in the chamber of books, and hath been inscribed upon an iron tablet, according to the command of thy father Ptah Tannen, when he sat upon the great throne. He hath set his brother upon that which the god Shu beareth up, to stretch out the waters over the mountains, and to make to spring up that which groweth upon the hills, and the grain which shooteth upon the earth, and he giveth increase by water and by land. Gods celestial and gods terrestrial transfer themselves to the service of thy son Horus, and they follow him into his hall, where a decree is passed that he shall be lord over them, and they perform it straightway. Thy heart rejoiceth, O Lord of the gods, thy heart rejoiceth greatly. Egypt and the Red Land are at peace, and they serve humbly under thy sovereign power. The temples are established upon their own lands. Cities and nomes possess firmly the property which they have in their names, and we will make to thee the divine offerings which we are bound to make, and offer sacrifices in thy name forever. Acclamations are made in thy name, libations are poured out to thy ka, sepulchral meals are brought unto thee by the Khus who are in thy following, and water is sprinkled upon the offerings upon both sides of the souls of the dead in this land. Every design which hath been ordered for thee according to his, that is, Ra's commands in the beginning hath been perfected. Now therefore, O son of Nut, thou art diademed as Neber is diademed at his rising. Thou livest, thou art stablished, thou renewest thy youth, and thou art true and perfect. Thy father Ra maketh strong thy members, and the company of the gods make acclamations unto thee. The goddess Isis is with thee, and she never leaveth thee. Thou art not overthrown by thine enemies. The lords of all lands praise thy beauties, even as they praise Ra when he riseth at the beginning of each day. Thou risest up like an exalted one upon thy standard. Thy beauties exalt the face of man, and make long his stride. I have given unto thee the sovereignty of thy father Seb, and the goddess Mut, thy mother, who gave birth to the gods, brought thee forth as the firstborn of 5 gods, and created thy beauties, and fashioned thy members. Thou art stablished as king, the white crown is upon thy head, and thou hast grasped in thy hands the crook and the whip. Whilst thou wert in the womb, and hadst not us yet come forth therefrom upon the earth, thou wert crowned lord of the 2 lands, and the Atef crown of Ra was upon thy brow. The gods come unto thee bowing low to the ground, and they hold thee in fear. They retreat and depart when they see thee with the terror of Ra, and the victory of thy majesty is in their hearts. Life is with thee, and offerings of meat and drink follow thee, and that which is thy due is offered up before thy face. Grant thou that I may follow in the train of thy majesty, even as I did upon earth. Let my soul be called into the presence, and let it be found by the side of the lords of right and truth. I have come into the city of God, the region which existed in primeval time. with my soul, and with my double, and with my khu, to dwell in this land. The god thereof is the Lord of right and truth. He is the Lord of the Tchefau food of the gods, and he is most holy. His land draweth unto itself every other land. The south cometh sailing down the river thereto, and the north, steered thither by winds, cometh daily to make festival therein according to the command of the god thereof, who is the Lord of peace therein. And doth he not say, the happiness thereof is a care unto me? The god who dwelleth therein worketh right and truth. Unto him that doeth these things he giveth old age, and to him that followeth after them rank and honor, and at length he attaineth unto a happy funeral and burial in Ta Chesert. I have come unto thee, and my hands hold right and truth, and my heart hath no crafty wickedness therein. I offer up before thee that which is thy due, and I know that whereon thou livest. I have not committed any sin in the land, and I have defrauded no man of that which is his. I am Thoth, the perfect scribe, whose hands are pure. I am the Lord of purity, the destroyer of evil, the scribe of right and truth, and that which I abominate is sin. Behold me, for I am the writing reed of the god Neb er tcher, the Lord of laws, who giveth forth the word of wisdom and understanding, and whose speech hath dominion over the two lands. I am Thoth, the Lord of right and truth, who maketh the feeble one to gain the victory, and who avengeth the wretched and the oppressed on him that wrongeth him. I have scattered the darkness, I have driven away the storm, and I have brought the wind to Un Nefer, the beautiful breeze of the north wind, even as it came forth from the womb of his mother. I have caused him to enter into the hidden abode, to vivify the heart of the still heart. Un Nefer, the son of Nut, Horus, triumphant. Chapter 184. Vignette: the deceased standing upright before Osiris, who wears the Atef crown and holds in his hands the whip and crook, emblems of sovereignty and dominion. Text: the chapter of being nigh unto Osiris. The Osiris Uaa, the overseer of the estates of Amen, triumphant, saith. Chapter 185. Vignette: Osiris at the head of Abtu, the great god, prince of eternity and governor of Amentet, enthroned within a shrine. He holds in his hands the whip and crook, emblems of sovereignty and dominion. Before him, with hands raised in adoration, stand the deceased and his wife Hent Neteru, the lady of the house, the singing woman of Amen, triumphant. Text: the giving of praises unto Osiris, and paying homage unto the Lord of eternity, and propitiating the god in his will, and declaring the right and truth, the Lord of which is unknown. The Osiris Sutimes, the libationer and president of the altar chamber in the apse, the president of the scribes of the temple of Amen, triumphant, saith: Homage to thee, O thou holy god, thou mighty and beneficent being, thou prince of eternity, who dwellest in thy abode in the Sektet boat, thou whose risings are manifold in the Atet boat. To thee are praises rendered in heaven and upon earth. Peoples and nations exalt thee, and the majesty of the terror of him is in the hearts of men, and Khus, and the dead. Thy soul is in Tetet Mendes, and the terror of thee is in Suten Henen. Thou settest the visible emblems of thyself in Annu, and the greatness of thy transformations in the double place of purification. I have come unto thee, and my heart hath right and truth therein, and there is neither craft nor guile in my breast. Grant thou that I may have my being among the living, and that I may sail down and up the river among those who are in thy following. Chapter 186. Vignette: the goddess Hathor in the form of a hippopotamus, wearing upon her head a disk and horns. In her right hand she holds an unidentified object, and in her left the emblem of life. Before her are offerings, and behind her the cow May Urit, who may be identified with Hathor, looks forth from the funeral mountain. At the foot of the mountain is the tomb, and in the foreground grows a group of flowering plants. Text: Hathor, lady of Amentet, mighty dweller in the funeral mountain, lady of Ta Chesert, daughter or eye of Ra, dweller before him, beautiful of face in the boat of millions of years, the habitation or seat of peace, creator of law in the boat of the favored ones. Chapter 137. Vignette: this chapter is without a vignette in the Papyrus of Nu. Text: the chapter of entering in unto the company of the gods. The overseer of the palace, the chancellor in chief, Nu, triumphant, saith, "Homage to you, O company of the gods of Ra! I have come before you. I am in the following of Ra. I have made my way, and I have passed in among you. Let not my hand be repulsed in whatsoever I do this day." Chapter 138. Vignette: This chapter is without a vignette in the Papyrus of Nu. Text: The chapter of the going in of the soul to build an abode and to come forth by day in human form. The overseer of the palace, the chancellor in chief, Nu, triumphant, the son of the overseer of the palace, Amen-hetep, triumphant, saith: "Come in peace, thou hast a khu. Enter thou in peace into the divine Utchat. Behold, thou hast a khu, together with a soul Ba and a shade Ka ibit, to look thereupon. May it behold me when I am judged, in whatever place it may be, with my attributes, and with my form, and with my faculties of mind, and with all my attributes ordered and perfect, even as a soul which is provided with all things and is divine. May I shine like Ra in his divine splendor in the temple, and may my soul and my shade come to me upon their legs from the place where I am judged, and behold me. May I stand up and sit down, and enter into the house of his body, which, behold, hath become one of the starry gods of Osiris, who travel by day and journey by night, and celebrate the festivals." Chapter 189. This chapter is without a vignette in the Papyrus of Nu. Text: The chapter of not letting a man perform a journey being hungry, and of not letting him eat filth. The overseer of the palace, the chancellor in chief, Nu, triumphant, the son of the overseer of the palace, Amen-hetep, triumphant, saith: "The things which are an abomination unto me, the things which are an abomination unto me, I will not eat. What I abominate is filth, and I will not eat thereof in the place of the sepulchral cakes which are offered unto the Kas. Let me not be thrown down upon it, let it not light upon my body, let it not enter into my fingers, and let it not join itself unto my toes. Thou shalt live then upon that which the gods and the Khus decree for me in this place, and upon that which is brought unto thee there. Let me live upon the 7 cakes which shall be brought unto me, 4 cakes before Horus, and 3 cakes before Thoth. The gods and the Khus shall say unto me, What manner of food wouldst thou have given unto thee? And I reply, Let me eat my food beneath the sycamore tree of the goddess Hathor, and let my times be among the divine beings who have alighted thereon. Let me have the power to order my own fields in Tatu, and my own growing crops in Annu. Let me live upon bread made of white barley, and let my beer be made from red grain, and may the persons of my father and mother be given unto me as guardians of my door, and for the ordering of the divine territory. Let me be sound and strong, let me have a large room, let me make a way, let me have my seat wherever I please, like a living soul, and let me never be kept in restraint by mine enemy. That which is an abomination unto me is filth, and I will not eat thereof. Let me never pass over filth and offal in Annu, but let it depart from me. I am the bull who ordereth his habitation. I fly like the mighty one, I cackle like the smen goose, and I alight upon the beautiful sycamore which standeth in the lake of Akeb. I come forth and I alight upon it. He who alighteth there in the form of the great God shall not be driven away therefrom. The things which I abominate I will not eat. The things which I abominate, the things which I abominate are filth and offal, and I will not eat thereof. The things which are an abomination unto my Ka are filth and offal. They shall never enter into my body, they shall never come into my hands, and I will never tread upon them with my sandals. O send ye not forth against me foul water, harm ye not me with the rod, give ye not unto me, snatch ye me not away from the edge of your deep cisterns, and let me not depart from you being overthrown. The divine Alchemu beings of the god Pen Heseb shall say unto me, Upon what wilt thou live in this land, whither thou art going, and wherein thou wouldst be glorious? And I reply, I will live upon the cakes made of black grain, and upon ale made of white grain, and upon 4 cakes in Sekhet Hetep, which is more than the food of any or every god. Moreover, I have 4 loaves of bread during the course of each and every day, besides 4 loaves in Annu, which is more than the food of any or every god. And the divine Alchemu beings of the god Pen Heseb shall say unto me, What hast thou brought to eat in that holy furrow? on that day when I receive my offerings with anti-unguent. And I reply, I will not eat thereof, it shall not come into my hands, and I will not tread thereon with my sandals. And the divine Alchemu, beings of the god Pen Heseb, shall say unto me, Upon what wilt thou live in this land whither thou art going, and wherein thou wouldst be glorious? And I reply, I will live upon the 7 cakes which shall be brought, 4 in the temple of Horus, and 3 in the temple of Thoth. And the divine Alchemu, beings of the god Pen Heseb, shall say unto me, Who then shall bring them unto thee? And I reply, the divine associate of the temples of the Heretchati, goddesses of Anu. And they say, Where wilt thou eat them? And I reply, Beneath the beams of the beautiful ark, to which hymns are sung, as it is borne along, thither shall I be taken. And the divine Alchemu, beings of the god Pen Heseb, shall say unto me, Wouldst thou live then upon the things which belong to another every day? And I reply, I will myself plow the fields of my estate in Sekhet Heru. And the divine Alchemu, beings of the god Pen Heseb, shall say unto me, Who will protect them for thee? And I reply, the 2 divine daughters of the divine king of the north, besides those who belong to them. And the divine Alchemu, beings of the god Pen Heseb, shall say unto me, Who will plow them for thee? And I reply, the divine chiefs who dwell among the gods of heaven and the gods of earth. The treading down of the earth shall be done for me by the cow goddess Hapiu, who dwelleth in the city of Sao, and the harvest shall be reaped for me by Suti, the lord of heaven and of earth. Hail, ye who turn back the blossoms upon yourselves, ye whose transgressions are done away with, whose faces are holy. Behold, I am with the divine beings of Set at the mountain of Bakau, and I sit down along with the spiritual bodies who are perfect on the side of the lake of Osiris to rejoice my heart. Shall not I make the overseer of the palace, the chancellor-in-chief, Nu, triumphant to know life? Chapter 190. Vignette. This chapter is without a vignette in the Papyrus of Nu. Text: the book of making perfect the khu within Ra, of making him to gain the mastery before Tem, of magnifying him before Osiris, of making him to be powerful before the governor of Amentet, and of causing him to be mighty before the company of the gods. Rubric: this book shall be recited on the first day of the month of the festival, on the festival of the 6th, on the festival of Uak, on the festival of Thoth, on the birthday of Osiris, on the festival of Sekri, and on the festival of the night of Haker. It will enable a man to pass through the hidden places of the Tuat, and to penetrate the secret habitations of Neter Kert, to break through mountains, and to open up a way through the secret valleys which are unknown. This chapter shall preserve or embalm the khu. It shall make broad his steps, it shall give him power to walk, it shall destroy the deafness of his face, and it shall enable him to make a way for his face with the god. When thou recitest this chapter, thou shalt not let any man whatsoever see thee, except him that is indeed dear to thy heart, and the priest who readeth the service Khur Heb. Thou shalt not let any other person see thee, and no servant shall come outside the chamber wherein thou art. Thou shalt recite this chapter inside a chamber lined with cloth, decorated, literally shot with stars throughout. The soul of every khu, that is, the deceased, for whom this book hath been recited, shall come forth among the living. He himself shall come forth by day, and he shall gain the mastery among the gods, and shall not be repulsed by them. And these gods shall revolve around about him, and they shall acknowledge, literally recognize him, and indeed he shall be as the divine one among them, and he shall make thee to know the transformations which shall come to him in the light. This book is indeed a very great mystery, and thou shalt never allow those who dwell in the papyrus swamps of the Delta, that is, ignorant folk, or any person whatsoever, to see it. End of chapters 181 through 190. End of the Egyptian Book of the Dead by E. A. Wallis Budge.